Back at Torrey Pines, and co-leader Davis Love on the par 5 ninth.
And long straight driving has been a strength the last 2 weeks.
He loves that. David?
There's another long straight drive.
Oh.
Well, that yellow marker is 250 to the middle of the green. You know he's going to be able to reach, perhaps even with a long iron. Because he's got that special forward in the bag for situations just exactly like this, reachable par 5s.
All right, green side. Mickelson imagining what it's going to take here. Area has been pretty trampled down by the gallery all week.
Downhill slope from the back left corner of the green, and continued slightly downhill all the way across to where the pin is cut.
Come on.
Well judged. Sounded as if it was a bit of a muddy lie, so a pretty good shot, chance for a birdie. But look how wide of a target he was with that second shot. Let's have a look at Davis's swing. Beautifully upright. I love the straight back. We saw him playing with Brent Geiberger yesterday, who is also tall but tends to bend over quite a bit more than Davis. Working on getting the club at the top of the backswing, pointing the target, doing a pretty good job there. Bit of a dip for the tall man through impact, and a well-controlled follow-through right on balance.
Over at the 12th Usti, Harrison Frazier. Wow. Victimized yesterday at 17 by a haunting 4-putt.
That really was an amazing 4-putt from about 15 feet. Of course, missing from about 18 inches. The second putt was the key because it was going downhill. He was well positioned. Below the cup should have been a routine birdie chance. Doesn't look to be a problem, but this is.
You're right, that was the killer stroke.
Yeah, from barely over a foot.
And Bobby Clampett, you have actually a little theory about maybe what happened there yesterday, huh?
Well, actually, there was an earthquake that occurred about 2 hours prior to that up near Big Bear. It was over 5 on the Richter scale, and there were a series of tremors that occurred afterward. Who knows? We had a 4-putt there. In the following group, we had another 4-putt. But then Licklider came and hauled out his wedge, so it destroyed all that theory.
Some aftershocks. Surprise Frazier, though. What a way to come back. He's 4 under for the day. Tied for third to 17.
And Jay Williamson, his bid for birdie, climbing up the leaderboard. Finished 109th on the tour last year, did Jay. Some very impressive stats. 4-time graduate of the Q School. Center cut. So Jay only 2 back and a par 5 ahead. His final hole. Resides in Orlando. Let's go to number 9.
This is the Mickelson threesome. Licklider, Geiberger playing alongside. Licklider eagled 17 yesterday, as Bobby mentioned. Geiberger has been in contention since day one. 1 birdie, 7 pars to this point.
This a very long birdie putt at a par 5, so in trouble somewhere along this hole. Uphill left to right, and slightly downhill at the end. Difficult putt. Battling injuries last year after an impressive 99 when he won in Hartford.
And let's go to 10.
10th hole, you see it right there, 373, turns a little right to left, and this is a massive drive, Peter Costas.
Only 90 yards left. Has to take advantage of this drive. Gary failed to do so back on 9 because of a bad drive.
This hole today is cut way back in the left, taking him low, try to spin it right there. Boom! Ah, there we go, Peter.
Well, Gary, he took a long wait for the electronic scoreboard to change, walking from 9 to 10. He wanted to know right where he stood.
That's going to be just a straight up the hill. Nice little 3-footer there for a birdie. And Tiger, as you see right there, is 2 shots back of our co-leaders, Davis Love, Phil Mickelson. A bunch of guys hanging around. Anybody gets going a little berserko out there, they can run and hide. Let's go back to 9, see if he can make this one.
Thought that Phil might run and hide on the second 9 yesterday, but he looked battle weary and fatigued after that newfound hamburger diet from earlier in the week. Lost, what, 8 to 10 pounds?
8 to 10 pounds in a couple of days. Didn't realize how sick you could be with food poisoning. What a beautiful stroke.
You could tell immediately there, couldn't you, Oosty?
Yeah, very confident stroke.
Take a look here at the Pacific Life scorecard for Mickelson, who did not make a birdie on the closing 9 yesterday, in 38. But look at this, comes right back out. First 2 and last 2 holes on the outward 9 today. And the Geiberger for par. So Mickelson takes the lead by 1 over Love. 3 ahead of Geiberger. Woods, who has a close range birdie putt coming at the 10th. And we'll be back with more from Torrey Pines after this message and a word from your local station. After Survivor on Thursday on CBS. Earlier, Licklider at the 9th. Oh, lovely stuff. Went on to make birdie. He moves past that huge group at 14 under to third alone. Lined up now. There they are, 1, 2, 3. Mickelson, Love, Licklider. But Woods again has a good look at birdie coming at the 10th. And these aerial views on a spectacular day just north of San Diego, provided by the MetLife blimp Snoopy 2. We're here in La Jolla. Wonderful little village overlooking the Pacific. Let's go back now to the 9th. Second shot, Love.
.238 yards, deciding to hit that high. Cutting forward.
Oh.
Might have had too much club.
He was caught in between clubs there, Peter. He carries a 3-iron and then the 4-wood, nothing in between.
To 10.
Peter Costas, you going to play this outside the hole or just kind of bang this one right in the back?
He better bang this one in the back because it looks like it could go either way if he hit it softly.
Idea on these greens, Powania greens, hit them hard when you're close to the hole. Hope you hit the back. Beautiful there, right in the middle. So Tiger Woods now gets within 2 shots of Phil Mickelson. These guys are going to start jumping on Tiger right now. They probably think, well, he hasn't got his A game, so let's go ahead and keep him from winning. Just keep him from winning, and maybe it'll start to get to him. So Phil Mickelson and Davis Love, for the rest of the field and all the professional golfers out here, trying to keep Tiger down. Don't let him get sniffing the lead again. Big golf course here at Torrey Pines. It favors a big hitter. That's why we've got these 3 guys at the top. Par 5s, they can all get there in 2, and the very long par 4s, they can hit middle irons, 2 or short irons. And there you see the favorite pastime in San Diego. If you're down here at the Glider Park, grab a wing and jump off the cliff. Let's go to 9.
Any obstruction on the way here, David?
Well, no obstruction, Jimmy, but if you're playing match play and you allowed your partner to drop you in a spot where it would be the hardest to get it up and down, this would be it. Just straight downhill from a snarly lie. Horrible.
It was really just a chip forward, wasn't it, for him? 238. Just over the top and pulling it long left.
Well, he has the little utility wood in there. He's taken out the 2-iron. Probably was a perfect 2-iron shot for him, but swings and roundabouts.
And the 9th hole, the toughest of the par 5s, but still averaging 4 2/3 strokes. So players at the top of the leaderboard, especially players with the power of love, Mickelson, Geiberger, they will be expecting to make birdie here.
Look at the field that made the cut Friday night. 85 players made it at 3 under or better. 79 of the 85 remain in red figures at this point. And ahead to the 16th.
We've got Chris Smith down here, and he is just going absolutely nuts today. Birdied 1, 2, 5, 6, 8, 13 on the back 9. This on this very difficult par 3 today. Chris hit a 3-iron. He's one of those players that can absolutely rip it also. So he's trying to get in early. 14 under, 3 back. Probably ran out of holes, but made a good go of it. Let's go back to 10. Brent Geiberger, second shot. Up from 123, nicely done. That'll jack back a little bit, but he's going to putt right up the hill. You can see the slope of that green back there. You got to hit the ball back in the fringe and then peel it back towards the flag. This hole slopes severely off the tee from left to right. The ball will end up on the right-hand side. Phil's got, being left-handed, he can cut the ball back into this fairway. He's got a .10. The limit to the left of the flag, a little deep. That's a pitching wedge. He can put a lot of spin on it. A lot of spin. Ooh, ball reacted nicely. Go back to 9.
And Davis about to play his 4th shot after that really a well-struck tee shot. You never would have imagined he still wouldn't be on the green in 3.
But a very makeable chip shot, I would think, David.
Yes, he has. He's got it, well, coming off the downslope there, and then it's pretty much straight uphill to the hole. This is a pretty straight-face golf club, too. Looks like an 8 or a 9 iron. He's going to dunt it out there and let it run up the hill, a little left to right.
He'll get his par, but that's a huge disappointment. Woods makes par at the 9th. Love fails to make birdie also at 9. Mickelson, however, took advantage of it. A great putt there. Let's go to 10.
Frank Licklider. Always has that follow through that's right around his belt line. Never gets it any higher than that. Oh, there's a good one. Don't dance too much. That'll be along the lines of Tiger Woods' putt. It's a pretty good break there from left to right. Frank Licklider 2 shots back right now of our leader, Phil Mickelson. Davis Love, Tiger Woods. That's what I'm talking about.
Tonight on CBS, it's the epic true story of a woman who outwitted the Nazis and saved 1,000 refugees from war-torn Europe. Natasha Richardson heads the all-star cast in Haven, the CBS Sunday movie right here on CBS. Let's go to 10.
Brent Geiberger up the hill, and this will really cook to the right. Not enough break. Yeah, he knew it. Got to get that ball started way up there on the left-hand side. Let it kind of wiggle back down. He'll get his par and then go on to the very difficult 11th. Davis going to go with the driver. David Ferry, that was a hard swing.
Yeah, boy. And is he confident with that weapon at the minute? That one hugging the left-hand side, should get a kick to the right. Enormous.
He's only got... Tiger had 90. It'll be interesting to see if David gets us yardage if he's past Tiger's drive. Frank Licklider. This thing will spew from left to right, and you can't hit this real hard. You just kind of fumble in the hole. Hit it nice and soft. Now kill right. Kill. Oh, that was a good putt. Excellent putt. Yeah, that's what I thought. Frank should have just gone to the right. Let's go to 11.
Most difficult par 3 at Torrey Pines South is the 11th today at 209 into the wind. And Tiger Woods on the tee. Peter?
He's got a 5-iron, Bobby, and it should be a perfect club for him. This shouldn't have to be manipulated very much at all.
Wind always a factor. That's Tiger just trying to get the right wind to pick the right club. Man who established 30 new PGA Tour records last year.
The wind is a lot more consistent than it was yesterday, Bobby, so it should be a little easier for these guys to pull the trigger.
With a severely sloped green, you do not want to be long. And Tiger front edge. Not a bad spot. Gary McCord started talking about the difficulty of 11 and 12. Two most difficult holes really on the back 9 to 10.
Good angle here. A little slider for Phil Mickelson. Ocean's over there to his right where that ball went. That one goes wanting. So 4 under par for the day. And a very good chance there. You want to get a running start in 11 and 12. And let's go now to 18.
And Jay Williamson's third shot. Oh, had that gone in for eagle, he would have joined Love in second at 16 under. So Jay Williamson with a strong showing here. Phil Mickelson trying to successfully defend his title in San Diego. Leads by 1. And Jay Williamson came close to holding it from the bunker. This for birdie.
And what an important putt. 5th tournament of the year. This is the first cut he's made in 2001. And possibly his best finish for 2 years. Tied for 7th at Bay Hill last year. So a great last round for him.
Yes, he moves into a 3rd place tie. Let's go to 10.
David Faraday. Mike Weir's second shot.
Well, Mike Weir from just 120 yards there. Pretty good tee shot. Although one of his playing partners just a fraction in front.
How far is he to the hole?
He has 82 yards to the hole. How do you like them apples, as they say?
That's 8 yards closer than Tiger was.
Nice little sandwich. He should be able to keep most of the zip off this one.
Be a little dainty one. You see that flagstick erupting from the right side of that bunker.
Well, he struck it nicely. He's going to fly it in behind the hole.
Yeah, come on.
Took a big bounce.
Yeah.
Wow, that was unlucky.
You got it back there in the shadow. I think that green is not maybe still a little cold and a little damp, and it took all the spin off it. At least that's my theory, David. I want you to go back there and inspect the back of that green where that shadow is and tell me if that's right. Let's go to 13 now. This is a par 5. Harrison Frazier. Misses his attempt. He's still got a little left of that. He'll mark it and kill it. And let's go to 11.
Tiger's made 2 pars here thus far. The 11th. And this for birdie, Peter.
Well, I think he would gladly take his par and run, although you never know. Send out a depth chart, you might get something.
Harrison Frazier tapped in at the 13th. Tiger would
up and over a ridge, Bobby, and he's really got to get his speed under control when he hits the ridge. Otherwise, this could be 3 or 4 feet long or short.
good line. He's been struggling with his speed, Peter, but the last 2 days, really the best putting he's had all year. 26 putts around.
It's strange how when you hit the ball poorly, your putting comes back. When you hit the ball great, your putting leaves, huh? What a game.
And then there are those times like at the U.S. Open when it's all there. Tiger talked about how he wanted to come out of the box quickly today with the tight run, so many so close to the lead. Really felt the front nine would be the one that would establish the momentum for the rest of the day. Birdied 2 of the first 3 holes. And that was a great start, Gary.
You know, just throw those birdies early, and just like Phil Mickelson did today, you know, you get going. You know, these guys are all bunched, so they all these studs out here, they know they're going to go out fast because the guy right behind them is going to be firing too. So you just got to go out and you got to shoot 65, and when the dust clears, let's see how you did. They're going to go as low as they can. It's not one of those things you're trying to protect a lead. But the whole field's not giving up. They're still clinging to the top spot. Phil Mickelson is now occupying that at 17 under. So everybody else is, let's just shoot at the flags. I don't care where they are. Davis right now is, to me, he's hitting the ball better and probably longer than Tiger. You can see 1 win, 3 top 10s. Pretty good scoring average. Again, he's very long, and this golf course, they just eat it up if you can get your tee ball out there at 320 or so. This is not a real good position to go for one. Oh, look at this. Oh, he just poured that. David, did you like that? I love that one.
Well, he's just looked like he's going to make everything all week. All of last week as well.
That is a hard putt to make.
That's a very hard putt. When you get on the back fringe like that and it's downhill, it's so hard to get it on line.
You just try to grease it a little bit and hit a little hard, and that thing will go 6-7 feet by the hole. And that ball was perfect speed. Just like it ran out of all of its energy right at the end and just fell in the hole. About a foot from the hole. I never thought it'd get there. Right there, it looked like it was going to kill him. Look at it. Just, you know, he's just by the look of that face, David. His expression there. He looks like he thinks he's going to make all the putts. That was no big surprise to him.
No, when you're driving it further than everybody else and putting much better than everybody else, you need to be really awful at the bit in between not to win.
So Phil, Davis Love now are stretching out just a little bit, and Mike Weir. I mean, this is an absolute must. Mike doesn't hit the ball as far as these guys. So. He knows 13 and 18, the 2 par 5s, although Mike yesterday in the 18th hole hit a 7-iron second shot. But he can't compete with these guys. His distance, he's 20, 30 yards behind him. Good, solid player. He's always around the leaderboard, learning how to play. Very confident. Very, very confident Davis Love. Obviously last week helped. Let's go to 11.
Interesting situation here for Tiger Woods, Peter Costas. Down the hill.
Well, down the hill, it's a good 6 feet too, Bobby. It's not one you want to have for par very often.
It's one of those putts on these Poe greens. You hit it easy, it's just going to do all kinds of things. But you go for it and miss it, you got something coming back. He guns it and drains it. And Phil Mickelson waiting back on the tee, saw the putt.
Bobby, that's 33 bogey-free holes for Tiger since the 14th in his second round. Good stage yesterday and today for pars.
Not bad considering that he says he's not hitting the ball very well right now. Well, can't say that about Davis Love III or Phil Mickelson. They're tied atop the lead. 2 shots ahead of the rest of the field.
Tonight on 60 Minutes, chances are you never met a man tougher and meaner than the sheriff of Maricopa County. How mean is he? Find out tonight on 60 Minutes here on CBS. And to the play at the 11th.
And co-leader Phil Mickelson on the tee. David?
It's a 5-iron for Mickelson.
And fine shot, flag high. Right in the heart of the green. Mickelson considers this tournament the next important thing to a major, to 12.
12, a tough assignment here. 468, par 4.
Longest par 4 on the course, played out towards the ocean. And important to find the fairway today. Pin way back, a dangerous pin to attack if you're in the rough. So that's perfect for Tiger.
To 11.
Frank Licklider.
Yeah, baby.
Bit of concern, that with a 4-iron. And that'll sneak down into that deep Kikuyu grass rough. And Davis Love III is hanging out on the 11th tee, watching all the action. What a run he's having.
Monday on CBS begins with our friend Kevin James, the King of Queens, followed by the new hit comedy Yes Dear, and television's #1 comedy Everybody Loves Raymond, plus an all-new episode of Becker with guest Jacqueline Smith, and in 48 hours, Monday to 11.
Frank Licklider's second shot from the right of the green. And Davis Love III back on the tee. Contemplating what club selection he's going to need. Probably between 5 and 4 depending on the wind. Difficult par 3. Is this 11th? It'll test you. And this putt for Phil Mickelson, it's one of those putts that for most of the players they think it's going to break a ton from left to right, but there seems to be a straightening effect, and no one knows these greens better than Phil. Did he hit it? Yes. Mickelson takes the lead. And Davis apparently showing absolutely no reaction to that whatsoever. But a different story for Mickelson, who came out early this morning on the practice putting green. Brought his little prop out there to help with his alignment. Now let's go to 12.
And Tiger now finds himself 3 back after the Mickelson birdie.
Just left with 173. Back into the wind, 7-iron.
Dangerous looking pin placement, Peter.
Especially if you're standing back here in the fairway looking at it.
Well, that's what you have to do. If you're going to miss cue, you have to come up short. Very little green behind that hole position.
14.
Harrison Frazier. 14th hole, the 398-yard par 4. One of those holes you see a lot of 2-irons off the tee. And now we go back to Brent Geiberger. He pulled that one right off the putter face. That was for birdie. Geiberger sporting a new putter this week. Actually was going to change irons this week, and then last minute called his brother Brian in Palm Springs and said, I need to get my other set. He actually had his other set, but he forgot his 6-iron. So Brian came over from the desert and helped brother out, and he's been hanging around since. Licklider fine up and down from right of the green, saves par. But what a big birdie for Phil Mickelson on a most difficult hole. And now Davis Love has been back there on the tee waiting for some 6-7 minutes. David,
We have to have the win now.
We have to have the win. In between clubs, I think at the moment he has 3-iron in his hand. He has to hit some kind of a cut with that one, Bobby.
yeah, that's a lot of club there, I would say, David, and certainly a hole that if you're going to miss it, you got to be short.
Okay. Yep. When you're thinking.
Cubby Burke, one of the best in the business, on the bag.
You talk him into the 4-iron?
Well, that's the 3-iron.
Really? Okay. Now look for Dave to set this up left. The right-hand pin will allow him to play a cut. Look for this to be very high. That's a little 3/4 swing with a 3-iron.
He started it over the left edge there, but he's overcut it. Have to think he was between clubs there in his mind.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised at that club selection, David. It's always easy to second guess after the results. But the results are there for Phil Mickelson today. 18 under par, looking for his 3rd Buick Invitational Championship.
Phil Mickelson, first one here in 1993, raised about 10 minutes away. A product of University High School. In 93, a final round, 65, gave him the victory. He said, when I was a youngster, I would dream about playing here. His first win as a professional. Then a year ago, battling Tiger Woods and his victory streak of 6 in a row, Mickelson beat him in the end for a second win at Torrey Pines. Thursday on CBS, don't miss America's most watched show. It's Survivor, sweeping the nation. And this week, witness an episode so compelling you have to see it to believe it. Survivor, Thursday on CBS, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central. And we go back out to the 12th woods for birdie.
From the middle of the green, slightly uphill. So a very simple par. Maybe in the back of his mind saying, I mustn't go over the green and risk a bogey. Of course, he hasn't had one forever. He's been chipping and putting beautifully to save pars. But make a par here and then start attacking 2 par 5s, a couple of short par 4s still to go.
Yeah, and a hole that he eagled on Friday coming up next, 13. Let's go to 11.
And the second shot for Davis Love. How's the lie over there, David?
Not good. It's kind of fluffy back there, and he's got no green to work with. He has got it on the upslope, which will help a little bit, Bobby, but into the breeze also. But it's a very difficult shot. He's got to take the chance of just leaving it in that fringe in front of him.
Yeah, it's a little grizzly over there. Type of shot you just have to open the blade and almost play it like a semi-bunker shot. Unsettled, perhaps a distraction. Player here is just trying to read the lie, trying to feel the club going through the grass, how much moisture is actually in the grass, grabbing the club, feeling that resistance. Oh my.
Well, he played it well, but that's some 6 or 7 feet left or right left.
A tester. Davis, who won last week, the last player to win both in Pebble Beach and San Diego was Peter Jacobsen. Did it in 1995. Similar type greens. Let's go to 18.
Chris Smith, what a start today. He was 5 under for the day through 8. 1 over since that hole. This for eagle. Make that little one coming back for 67.
Chris Smith, 3 wins on the Buy.com Tour in 1997, won the Battlefield promotion instantly on the PGA Tour after those 3 wins. And he struggled, lost his card, back on Buy.com last year. A good solid birdie to finish.
Pride of the state of Indiana. Let's check out Chris Smith's Pacific Life scorecard. This start had this place abuzz when he birdied the 8th hole. He was 1 off the lead at that point. And then again, you got to make birdie at 9. Failed to do so. Stumbled at 12. Birdied the 2 par 5s coming in 13 and 18, 36, second 9. And currently in a tie for 7th. Good showing here for Chris Smith. Now residing in Peru, Indiana, playing out of Rock Hollow Golf Club. What a beautiful day we're enjoying here at La Jolla. 20 minutes north of San Diego. And the MetLife Blimp Snoopy 2 clear sailing today. It's not that way up and down the California coast. Heavy rains. Good thing we're not at Pebble Beach this week after that phenomenal weather of a week ago. They've had a rainy weekend up on the Monterey Peninsula. Not here, though.
Well, the forecast for yesterday wasn't that good, and we got lucky, and beautiful today.
Over at 12, Oostep, we've got Brent Geiberger.
Well, we saw him chipping under trees a couple of times yesterday at 14 and 15. 198 yards to go.
Nice.
Nice smooth swing. Maybe those trees didn't interfere too much from that range. A pretty straight face club. And struggling for his par. Almost 470. Usually the wind a little against and from the left. Can be a really, really difficult hole. Little breeze picks up at 470. This is unusual. 205 yards for Mickelson. I think Brent was probably ready to play out of the trees, and Mickelson didn't say, hey, wait a minute, it's my play.
Sit.
And you hear him talking to it. He's protecting the lead. Sit, wants to stay short. Tiger, even though he's not leading, also short of this cup. Very dangerous pin placement.
211.
Where earlier, Mike Weir at the par 3 11th, a birdie. He birdied it yesterday. Excuse me, par. Weir, though, had a streak yesterday of 4 consecutive birdies. 8, 9, 10, and 11. And now live, Davis Love for par. David?
Well, this one is all about speed. He can hang it out there a good way to the left, and it'll break a lot if it just collapses into the hole, or he can hit it just outside the left and a little firm. Oh, he hit a good putt.
As we talked about before, the ball just doesn't break as much from there. Mickelson knew that and buried it, but a bogey for Love will be very costly. A 2-shot swing to Mickelson on this hole alone. To 13.
Tiger Woods on this par 5. You want to grab something very strong. Hang on.
Trying to sling it down the right side, but I don't know if this is going to come back enough, Gary.
I don't think from his body language he thought it was going to come back, Peter, but from high atop Snoopy 2, I can see the ball in the rough, and he's a long ways down there, so he'll have a go at the green, I believe. Phil Mickelson now, 2-shot lead.
Go out to 12. Mickelson, the leader by 2.
And judging by that second shot, will accept a par here, as most players would. Very conservative on into the green. Settle down.
Right you are. A bit careless, Oosty.
Well, I'm sure he was just trying to lag, but in his position, 2-shot lead now. He may not be aware of the bogey from Davis back on 11.
And earlier, Geiberger.
Beautifully played. So the open stance, open blade, splash it out, tapped in for a par 4.
Back on the tee, Love.
Well, that one's pretty solid, but it's left and staying there.
Certainly won't help his line into the pin. A bunker on the left-hand side where we saw Brent Geiberger will protect the left side.
Well, that lie for Love looks rather thick and unsavory. Now Frank Licklider has a birdie bid.
Very methodical, very serious. Doesn't give a lot away as far as emotion. We can't tell what he's thinking. He always looks very serious. Of course, his vehicle of choice is pretty serious too, that Hummer.
It takes some serious skill to parallel park that. Like what I saw Gary McCord do last week.
Just push away what's in your way.
That's right.
I saw Gary last week take 20 minutes to parallel park a car.
Yeah, Jim, but I'm a perfectionist. I had to get it just right.
Good look at this pin placement. Look at the length of this green at number 12 and how close to the back edge that cup is. Just there. The length of the green. Anything over the green, the ground breaks away over here. And any chip from behind is going to be uphill with very little green to work with. So the players, especially those in contention, very careful with their second shots. Well, we've seen some just beautiful putting strokes from Phil over the last few holes, forcing his way into the lead.
always found it difficult to kind of hang in there focused with that shadow.
Just something else to deal with.
Of course, nothing seems to rattle this guy.
I think he just waited that fraction of a second more to let it drop. He wasn't on the move as quickly as he is on some of those where the hole gobbles up the ball. But good par.
Mickelson by 2. Love in the rough at 12. Tiger has to make something happen over at 13. A par 5. He missed the fairway off the tee, but it's still reachable, you have to believe, for Woods. In fact, let's go there now and get the report. 13.
Okay, we can see the flagstick there in the back portion of the screen, and it's pretty vulnerable right there. Off the tee, Tiger cranked it over there in the right rough, but we got a lot of golf balls showing there, Peter Costas.
Absolutely perfect lie. 233 left of the hole. The problem is the wind has switched a little bit. It's coming back into him a little bit from the right, not so much downwind as you might expect.
It's a hard swing, and obviously doesn't like it. Flared it over to the right. Seems to be coming out of his tilt a little bit, Peter, through the ball. It's swinging that so hard.
Gary, he's been aiming left with the ball back, and I thought he had it figured out a couple holes ago, but it crept up again there.
Over at 15, this was earlier, Frazier. And now he's at 16.
We got 210 yards. Ranked the second hardest hole today. That's a 3-iron.
Gotta go.
Yeah, right in the middle of the green. He's going to slew the dragon from about to, if he does, about 40, 50 feet from there. He's way on the front of that green. And let's go back to 12.
All right, Davis, I don't know what the situation is, Verity.
It's Clumpsville, 193. He's got a 6-iron. He's going to try and force it out of here.
Good shot, David.
Nice, Dave.
He made a great contact just right of the hole.
Go lefty, Beggs.
That's a pretty good effort. I had to look at that lie. It wasn't pretty, Jim.
13.
On the tee, Phil Mickelson. He got 2 par 5s left. If he can birdie them both and not mess around any other holes, that'll get him a 20 under, and these guys are going to have to go very, very strong to get to 20 under. And he's got half of it done there. He just ripped it down the fairway. So Phil Mickelson right now in full control of this golf tournament.
Go back out to 13.
It's the Eagle chip. Tiger Woods, and he's going to make it go right now. Can't go making pars on these par 5s, and it looks like he's got a very good shot there at his birdie, Peter Costas, but I know he was eyeing that flag on his second shot to try to get the 3.
Yeah, but that was really a treacherous hole location there, Gary.
And now let's go back to the really hard 12th, and this might be the longest putt I've seen here so far.
You can get some sizable ones on this green.
Greg Kraft, 33-yard long green. The pin's only 15 feet from the back. We saw Mickelson have trouble from long range, lagging. Kraft backs away.
Actually, I had a look at this one for a putt of such length. It's disturbingly straight.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
How far would you call it, David?
Well, it's got to be 80 feet. 85 feet maybe.
It never did move offline. He set it left of the hole. Made eagle yesterday at the 18th to work his way into the final threesome. Best finish this year, 5th at Tucson. Came in here after 2 consecutive missed cuts.
And just even par today in very good playing conditions, not keeping up with the pace.
This is the point on this course, Torrey Pines, where you're kind of right in the middle of that hang gliding landing area.
It's very easy to get distracted on this Torrey Pines, either north or south course. The ocean so close, so beautiful on a day like today. And a little noise from the blimp perhaps, and the distraction of the hang gliders, apart from the general beauty.
Those hang gliders really do come very low overhead here. At times it's, you know, they get these guys with their backside in a sling almost, it looks like, and they just sort of drift 20, 30 feet overhead. It can be quite disturbing.
You ever done that, David?
No.
Never will.
No. I get airsick on a thick rug.
Well, the views you have today of the tournament and all the activity down on the beach below.
And there we zoom in on the 12th green, very close to the cliffs, about 300 foot high, the cliffs down to the beach.
Yeah, that putt obviously far speedier than you really realize. Mickelson ran it by even past that, made it coming back 13.
A must. And right from the middle, Tiger Woods now moves 2 shots out of the lead, with Phil Mickelson standing back in the fairway with enough club to get to this green. And this was earlier J-Don Blake putting right back up the hill. Yeah. Why not? Par 5. These guys were all long out here. Just birdie them all. J-Don won back in 1999 here. And now Brent Geiberger underneath the shade of that Soledad pine, better known as a Torrey pine. Going to clank that one out, trying to get on the downslope and roll down the hill there a little bit. Phil Mickelson now. He's got just over 250 yards. And he's got a very strong 3-wood. But remember the last time we saw him hit it on the 9th hole, the par 5, he hit it way left. Now he has got a 2-iron in his hand. Philip, go talk to Bones over here. Jim McKay, your caddy. There we go. There we go. I'm trying to club him. He's got that 2-iron that's got a lot of meat on it. That half-iron, half-wood thing he can kill. But I don't think he can get it to 250. Yeah, we got the right club. We got a 3-wood. Don't have to hit it too hard. Got 2 par 5s left. If he can birdie them both, it's going to put him at 20 under par. We got 2 guys at 16. They're going to have to birdie 4 holes coming in. Tall order. Big shot for him here. Trying to hit a big loopy cut over that right bunker. Get some air underneath it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There we go. Beautifully played. Beautifully played. Looks like he's recovering nicely, doesn't he?
Looks a lot stronger today, doesn't he, Gary?
Yeah. You can hit a cut like that and get your legs out in front of it and hold on and hit it up in the air and let the wind kill it a little bit. And now Frank Licklider right at 250 yards. Watch this swing. Watch this follow through. It's a 3-wood. Just rips right at it and just holds it right there. Boom. Oh, man, look at that one go left. Oh. Cart path over there. That was a good swing, that second one. Cart path, there we go. It always hits a cart path and you pull it. Oh. Off the easy go. Nothing but net. Let's go to 12.
And that's a par for love. I don't know if it's possible to trigger an earthquake, but I think that second swat by Licklider, if anything could do it, that might have.
Just after I said he didn't show much emotion. Well, he had it's quite a wide open pin placement today there, isn't it, Gary? Very inviting if you hit a good drive.
Yeah, and Frank likes to hit that little cut there, and he's kind of got over it and then punished the ground with a thundering clank.
We felt the trimmers up here at 18. And let's go to 14.
Tiger Woods.
That little knockdown 2-iron, hugging the right side of the fairway.
That's his patent shot for 14. Gets a nice bounce. Center of the fairway now. It was at this point last year that Tiger had birdied 12 and 13 to close a 7-shot gap on Phil Mickelson. But that's when Mickelson turned on the afterburners and ended up winning by 4. Tiger bogeyed this 14th hole in that stretch to Mickelson's birdie. Frank Licklider, a lonely stroll. Ouch. Talking about earthquakes earlier. There's a tremor.
We are back on just a beautiful day here outside of San Diego. The Buick Invitational. Phil Mickelson trying to successfully defend his title here. He's done that one other time in his career, Tucson in '95 and '96. Seeking an 18th career title on the PGA Tour. That would tie him with Greg Norman on the all-time victory list. And let's go back to 13.
Frank Licklider trying to hit a little cut and got over at the double cross, as we call it in the business. And then it hit the cart path, bounced off a golf cart, and then nestled its way down to the bottom of the earth with some grass around it. Only good thing, he's got a lot of green here. So put our hands forward, get the ball first, a little low, a little running shot. Yeah. I can't see anything. Ah, there I can. Beautiful, huh? That was pretty good. I think he's still shaking from that tuning fork motion he made back there in the fairway after after a double cross. It's a funny game. Yeah, there's the marquee left. That'll grow back. That's no problem. Here we go. You want to club head speed? Right here is club head. I'm going to kill you. I feel better. And to do that, you see, you've got to hoist that right leg way up in the air, and that adds to the leverage of that club head speed as it comes down into the earth and tries to get to its core. I've done that before. That's why I know how to do it. Usually you do it not with a driver because you don't want to lose your driver 3-wood. Those are big clubs, but a 4-iron is not bad. Okay, here we go. He's killing off the tee. Let's see if he can get in the fairway here. He's got an iron left. Oh, that sounded loud.
It was loud.
Ooh, we're watching it, David, on the lamp. Oh, it's going to hit. Right there. Just past Frank's divot. That's way down there. Way down there. So he'll be cranking that up, trying to get an eagle here on this hole. We've only had one recorded today so far. Now on the green, looking for the second one. The gifted left-hander, Phil Mickelson. This would be sweet sugar here if this one went in, but no, it's not going to get there. Solid, that's great. That's solid, just what he wanted. You can't give up anything on these par 5s, birdie them both. But the other guys panic a little bit. Looks like he's got his strength back enough now where he's driving the ball in the fairway and hitting some good iron shots, and the putter has been there the whole week because he's been sick. Every time he gets sick, the putter comes into play. I don't know why. Now, this was earlier. We left Harrison Frazier on the front of this green after a 3-iron shot. That was for the birdie. That's going to come up just a little bit short. And now straight up the hill again for his par. Blazed it through the right lip. He will put coinage on that. Regroup. Try to cover up the hemorrhaging that's going on.
Remember the 4-putt yesterday, Gary?
Yeah, I don't want to look. I'm not going to tell you, but I don't want to look, Peter. I'm not going to look. I'm going to look away.
But that was at 17.
I know it, but this is 16. He made that. I'll tell you that. Let's go to 14 now. See Tiger Woods.
His second shot, Peter.
151, Bobby. Wind coming from the left.
Again, his little patented knockdown shot.
Little baby 8-iron. It's looking good from the fairway.
Too much drawback. That'll frustrate him a little bit more. And Peter Osterhaus, Tiger now 3 down with only 5 to play. That's a tall order.
It certainly is, and we can see he expected that ball to be up there within about 6 feet. Hit a good enough shot, just misjudging the wind perhaps, and then the backspin hurting as well.
To 13.
Brent Geiber is for his birdie, hitting the trees, chipped out, hit it to there. Again, golf is a stupid game. One good shot, just one good shot on every hole. Hopefully it's the last one, a good putt. It's Snoopy 2 falling down to the green. Oh, there we go. This would be another interesting birdie. Hang glider looks like it's hanging right over his head. How about that? There we go, Frank. Yeah, shoot it. Killed the fairway, now shoot the ball. There we go. Frank's got it all going. He's all smiles now. Gonna have to reroute his 3-wood, but he's all smiles right now. And then we'll go through the gallery back to the 14th hole, a nice little par 4 that Tiger Woods is occupying right now. And occupying the top of the leaderboard, Phil Mickelson with a 3-shot lead.
And now, the Fidelity Investments Tournament Summary.
Well, the tournament summary first on Friday. Phil Mickelson. Yesterday, Frank Licklider at the 17th. Oh, an eagle for Licklider. And today at the 11th, what a pivotal moment this was. Mickelson for birdie. Now he's arrived at the 14th tee, leading by 3.
In a lot of 14, only 398 yards. Tiger, a little knockdown 2-iron, and Mickelson with the big stick.
You surprised at that, Bobby?
I am a little bit, but I like that type of aggressiveness. When you get the lead, you can't back off of it. You just don't want to hit it left. And that's going to be okay, but dangerously close to that dreaded ice plant and that canyon that plays as an integral part of the golf course.
At 13, Davis Love's second shot.
With the 4-iron from 220 yards.
Whoa. A very legitimate chance at eagle, which could bring him within 1. Phil Mickelson battling food poisoning at the beginning of the week, leading by 3, trying to defend his title here at Torrey Pines. And this is a look down at the action. Aaron tee shot there, and it was dangerously close.
I think it was a very bold play. I certainly backed up Mickelson, his bold play at 18 Pebble Beach last week, but a driver off this tee with his lead, unnecessary.
Bobby, you're out there.
Well, and Tiger, 3 back. And Peter Costas, when you talk about come from behind victories, you can't think about at Pebble Beach last year in the final round. Tiger was 4 down with 4 to play to Matt Gogol and hold the wedge at 15.
The only difference there, Bobby, his 6 gun was loaded with 6 bullets, and he's got about 4 in his gun right now. He's still struggling. Although that approach shot was about 6 inches from perfection, hit the top of the ridge and spun back. His putt will break right at the beginning and left at the end.
Tiger has that magical gift of being able to pull himself out of that just when he needs to.
Right now, Bobby, he's struggling with his swing, making practice swings every second he has. But I think the real problem is he's gotten into a habit of opening up and aiming left. And so when he swings along his line, it's a pull. And when he swings out to the target, it's a push.
Perhaps trying to get the downswing to come more from underneath. Saw him make a couple of those gestures on the front nine where he felt like he was coming over the top of it. And that's an instant cure to aim a little left and try to come from underneath. And let's go to 13.
There you see all the graphics you need to know. Par 5, 535. Green sets way up on a hill. Davis Love poured a 4 in there, poured it in there. And he has got a very nice putt at an eagle. Tiger made that little putt for his par. He remains 3 shots back of Phil Mickelson at 16 under. This is Greg Kraft. Even par for the day, not going along doing much of anything. But this is for an eagle. So get Crafty all organized here for a late run at some serious cash. And at 13 under, that's all the expectations he could have, I believe, unless he went absolutely ballistic. Greg's been working very hard in his golf swing the last couple of years to get his swing on the plane. Talked to him a little earlier in Phoenix, and he was swinging at it really nicely. He said, I'm finally confident with where it is, and I can go ahead and play and not think about it. When you make a change out here, you got to think about it for so long, and then that one day you hit a golf shot and you hit it pretty good, and you don't think about it, and you go, that's it, I got it now. So he's starting to get in the swing of things. Everybody's trying to improve out here. Ever since Tiger went thermonuclear on these guys really went out now, and all the little problems they had with their golf game that they didn't want to work on, now they're working on them.
And Gary, you mentioned the cash, $3.5 million, over 100,000 for 9th place, so a lot of incentive to hang in there.
I would pay attention, Peter. I would definitely pay attention. Okay, Fairway Faraday, one of the great readers on this planet of greens. This for an eagle, give me an exact read on this one.
Well, I mean, it's really a makeable chance, as you said earlier, Gary. To me, it looked maybe just a little outside the left of the hole. Not much happening at the end of the putt, but it's uphill, and he can be aggressive with it.
And he knows exactly where he stands, so this will be aggressive. Oh, no. I tell you what, I'd have bet $1 billion he wouldn't have come up short. That was just straight in the hole. David, a whoopsie?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, he would have taken 4 on the tee, I suppose, but that was a really realistic chance of eagle there.
Sneaks within 2. Let's go see if this tree is going to bother Phil Mickelson.
His second shot from 126 yards. Get that wedge up over it. Ouch. Ooh, and it did bury. So that is bogey territory for leader Mickelson, who dodged a bullet with Davis Love, leaving that eagle putt short. But he's got problems of his own here, and Frank Licklider split the fairway with his driver, only 116 yards, looking right at the flag here.
You're gonna like that.
Starting a little left of the pin, wind draws it back, and just catches the opposite side of that ridge. That ball landed just a foot or 2 further right, would have fed right down to the hole. And earlier, Brent Geiberger again in the right rough. This was from 145 yards.
Sit on it. Come on, baby.
And Geiberger getting a lot out of his round today. Winner in Hartford 2 years ago. To 15.
And Tiger.
That's a driver heading down the right side, and he's going to have to get lucky with that one.
Well, no such luck, Peter. 3 down with 4 to play. Phil Mickelson is the leader again. He won it here last year. Week 7 on what is defined as the West Coast Swing. There is a bonus pool And Ernie Els is the leader. $1 million bonus pool with $500,000 to the winner. With the Hope and the Nissan tournaments coming up the next 2 weeks, 100 points for the winner, $500,000 to the eventual overall West Coast Swing champ. Let's go out to 14.
Earlier, Phil Mickelson buried under the lip. His third shot to the par 4, that remaining for par. And now live for par. Mickelson last week said, if I focus on results, I don't get anything accomplished in my play. What he means by that, he's just trying to focus on execution for par. Oh, that's huge. It was this hole last year that Mickelson birdied to Woods' bogey that opened up a 2-shot lead. But that, Peter Osterhaus, was a huge par save.
I was just going to have another go at him for hitting a driver off the tee when he didn't need to, but we'll forget about that now. Makes a par. Hole's only 398. He's one of the longest hitters on tour. He looks a bit stronger today than yesterday. No need for the driver, but what a great save.
Well, I think, you know, you look at his stats and his driving distance is down quite a bit this year. And you wonder what he was thinking about there. But personally, when you get the lead, you've got to mentally think aggressively, even though sometimes you don't want to make too aggressive of plays like that. Tough call. He knows what he's doing. Now Brent Geiberger. He's way to the right off the tee. This for birdie. Lacked enough speed. Tough putt from behind the hole at 14. Par 4. And back on the tee, Davis Love still trailing by 2. David Feherty.
Well, that ought to be in perfect shape.
What did Davis use off the tee there, David?
3-wood.
3-wood. Slightly wider target with a 3-wood. And let's go to 15.
And Tiger after another wild tee shot. Peter?
97 yards, kind of a gnarly lie, but all in all, not too bad. He's got a clean swing at it.
And a much more accessible pin placement than yesterday. Well, a similar result from the fairway. Yesterday went over the green and had to make a great chip and a putt save. And from the rough, less control, obviously, not controlling the spin.
14.
And Licklider now. This is a very tough read. Riding the ridge. Nope. But it was Phil Mickelson who took the aggressive play off the tee with the driver, got into trouble, buried it underneath the lip of the bunker, but came back with this par save, and it was big.
Aaron McCord is about to land here and take him on his way to the senior tour. He'll be playing at the Verizon Classic next week on tour. We wish you luck there, Gary. And Chuck Lee, of course, will be hosting that tournament. And the PGA Tour to the Bob Hope Chrysler Classic next week on ABC. Let's go to the 15th. And Tiger's third.
Oh, no miracle at a 15th hole this time. Needed a very strong finish. Obviously the eagle chance at 18.
To 14.
And Davis Love eyeing the flag. David Feherty.
With a little 9-iron. Just 138 yards. Wants it to blow to the right.
And again, just off the edge of the slope. Doesn't get the feed. And that'll be a tough read to 15.
And Licklider.
Using his utility club, the cross between a lofted metalwood and a long iron. And good position down the right hand side, important. Anything down the left corner of the fairway, trees will become involved.
Earlier, Mickelson.
Looked like the driver again. However, a more likely choice here because getting past the left-hand trees can be important. That's perfect.
Mickelson on the West Coast, 3 victories at Tucson, a couple up at La Costa in the Mercedes Championship. He won Phoenix in '96. That terrific battle with Justin Leonard there. Pebble Beach, the tournament that took 6 months to complete in '98, won it in August of '98, the day after the PGA at Sahalee. And he's won this twice, the Buick Invitational, and gunning for a 3rd. A tournament where he played his first tour event, 1988. San Diego Open as an amateur, missed the cut.
Jadon Blake up the hill at the 15th. He was in good position to attack.
Blake at 15 under, sight of his one conquest. 10 years ago he won this tournament, Torrey Pines.
It was 3 years ago he was battling against Tiger at the Bell South Classic. When Tiger was fighting his swing, just the 1 win in '98, as he was kept on saying, well, the game's coming around, I'm becoming more consistent, but he wasn't winning. It wasn't good enough for his critics, but eventually it all paid off.
That's a par for Tiger. Three down, 3 to play. And given that par 5 at the end, there's still time.
Perhaps, yes.
Although he certainly is battling his game right now. Let's go to 14.
And Greg Kraft. Man who hold that brilliant second shot we saw at the Buick Open last year in the final round at 15, a 4-iron. In the middle of a time period where he was having a lot of back problems. Crafty, known as one of the better putters on the tour over his career. Fine effort there. That's what so many of the players Gary McCord talked about, is working on his swing plane. That word and terminology has been around a lot, but I think it's taken on a greater significance over the last 5 and 6 years to the players. The importance of it. Gary, I know in your own golf game you work a lot on that as well.
Yeah, it's taken me, about a year now, Bobby, to get it where I don't really have to think about it too much. I still think about it, but it's getting the shaft on a plane where you can go ahead and hit it hard day in and day out, and the ball's going to go fairly straight. If you're not on the plane, then you got to loop to get it on the plane or loop back to get it back on the plane.
Taking you about 30 years altogether, hasn't it?
Yeah, basically. And David, as you know, I'll never find it. But these guys are getting... Tiger kind of did that. Once Tiger redid his swing and got it on the plane, all these guys started looking at his swing going, whoa, is that good? And that's where I want mine.
Seems that the days of the field player has kind of gone behind us. And now Davis Love for birdie.
Well, right to left in it early.
Oh, what a great effort.
Well, Davis endured 2 or 3 years. Have been asked why he didn't win. He won last week, and he wants to win again this week. That's for sure.
Well, there's a look at Davis's reaction. He was eyeing it, but Phil Mickelson has got a 2-shot lead. We're winding down on the second 9, final round of the Buick Invitational.
We're back at 15. Tournament leader Mickelson.
Beautiful drive, perfect position. A chance to attack here without much risk. Well, steady play. I don't think he'd be satisfied with that.
16.
Okay, now we're looking at 208 yards. Pin squeezed over here on the right-hand side.
Going with a 4-iron back into the breeze.
Trying to cut that one in there, Peter. Shape it.
This is dead straight.
Nicely done. Nicely done. He's going to have about 15, 18 feet straight back up that hill. Good position right there. See, the wind's not blowing at all. It's very nice today. Very nice. And you can see Tiger's looking over there at that Buick. Beautiful Regal. All the shiny windows and that shiny, look at those wheel covers. I like those. And let's go to 15.
And this was earlier, Licklider's approach.
Spin back now.
Oh.
The slope's going to help. And that's what I expected to this pin placement.
CBS Sports presents the Buick Drive of the Day.
Well, we won't call it a drive, but it was certainly the most electrifying shot of the weekend. It was yesterday at the 17th. We just saw him back it off the back fringe. He can put some spin on it. Just look at this. And for that shot right there, Buick, the official car of the PGA Tour, donates $5,000 on behalf of Frank Licklider to his selected charity. I hope Mickelson is able to catch a glimpse of this. Now, Gary, I got to ask you, if you're like hovering over Torrey Pines, do you have to have a ticket for that too? Is that like being on the grounds?
That's a free ride there, Jimmy.
Ooh, Mickelson, 15 with a pretty free ride at a birdie.
Everything suggested that ball would take that little dive to the left.
Back on the tee, Love, two back.
Oh, that one's left and staying there, heading for the big gums.
And he'll need a lot of luck and a lot of skill to find the green from there.
On the green, Guy Berger walks it in. That was for par.
He was in the trees yesterday, rifled it over the green into the fans, made a par. Struggled again today. Stays 15 under. That's in a tie for 5th spot.
He avoids his first bogey of the day. 2 birdies, the rest pars for Brent. And Licklider takes a long, hard look at this. But with each one of these missed birdie opportunities by Mickelson, it keeps Love in the game. And if he gets a chance just to even come to 18 in that last group, 1 down, there are a lot of things that can happen here.
Well, Licklider moves to 17 under, only 2 behind if he brushes this in. And he finished birdie, eagle, birdie yesterday.
That's right. 4 under the last 3. Here you have it. Love and Licklider share second at the moment. Davis back there, though, that's a couple of drives now, 12 and 15, where he's come right over the top, it looks like.
Got away with it at 12, even though it's a long hole, was able to heave it next to the green. But a lot of trees involved down the left-hand side of 15. And there you can see them. Huge eucalyptus trees. Well, some depends on the lie. Can he get any spin on the ball? Can he go over the trees? We'll find out in a little while.
It doesn't look like there's any kind of opening at all. Mickelson for par. Haunted by putts of this length last week.
Green's a good bit smoother here, not quite as soft as those up at Pebble Beach. I have to say the course is in great condition. Jerry Deary and 27 employees look after the north and south courses. They've done a great job. The greens, very good. The combination of bent Poana. The Poana not quite seeding just yet, so they're relatively smooth. A little rain earlier in the week softened them up for Thursday, but they're pretty good surfaces.
Mr. Faraday, what's the situation for Davis?
Well, he's pretty much blocked out. They're moving the crowd in front here. He has got a kind of a gap straight ahead, but it's very risky. If he chooses to go high, he's got to keep it underneath the gum tree in front of him, then get it over the stand a little further up. So not a lot of options here. Doesn't really have a hook shot. I don't see a cut shot. If he tries to drive it low and straight, that's his, looks like his only chance of getting it on the green, and it's a very risky shot.
Visualizing a few improbable options.
He's looking high at the moment, and if he does, he has to hit a big high cut. It'll be hard to do it out of that lie.
Looking for any kind of window at all.
Of course, if anybody can hit it high, it's Davis Love. That high hands in the backswing, high follow through, lots of clubhead speed.
26, 18, 44.
He's backing him off to the left. It looks like the big high cut shot, David.
Well, he's still looking high, although he is moving them out of that gap also that he's got a gap that he can get it through about 40 yards in front of him. But then there's another big tree about 50 yards short of the green that is right between him and the hole.
26, 18, 44.
Cubbyberg gives him 44 to the hole.
How many times out of 10 are we talking about, David, this ending up on the green? David?
Well, I want to say if he gets it on the green 4 times out of 10 from here, that'll be pretty impressive.
I don't think you really feel his odds are that good, David.
No, I don't. The wind is helping the cut shot, but it's hard to cut a short iron that amount. Peter, that's the problem, particularly out of this lie.
It's going to come shooting out with no spin, just cutting through the air, won't be able to slice. He seems to be just looking at it over and over again as if he thinks the tree's going to shrink.
This is 9 iron. Needs to be careful he doesn't get the big jumper dead left here. Oh, that one caught the tree right in front of him. And I don't know how far that would have gone if it hadn't. Pretty good result.
Oh, that's unbelievable. It's just off the green.
I half expected it to drop down about 20 yards in front of him.
I was starting to think he might make be looking at double here or something.
Or be stuck in the tree like Mickelson yesterday.
16.
Well, we're looking for a number, and I'm looking at 20. Tiger's got to go birdie, birdie, eagle, and now he's going to do something very, very heroic. Tiger Woods remains at 16 under par, 3 shots back of our leader, Phil Mickelson. Frank Licklider 2 shots back in search of this pin that's in the back right corner. If I can go with this one, that little cut he likes to hit. Yeah. Excellent shot there. He'll have about 20 feet. Every guy from that position has missed it to the right. Let's go back to 15.
And Davis Love going to finish off this great escape effort. Love to get down in 2.
Well, that one came out softer than he thought.
Looked a bit fluffy there, David. Bent grass overseeded, or Kikuyu grass overseeded with rye. And it can be a bit tricky. Grab the club.
And 16.
Phil Mickelson now with the 3 iron. You can hook this ball to get it back into that pin. Just got to get it. Don't.
Go.
He's screaming at it. He's screaming at it. Oh no. He keeps putting himself in these bizarre positions. He has got a bunker shot now straight down the hill to a hole that's cut right against the fringe over here, so he's not going to have 6 or 8 feet from the fringe to the hole. But he can twirl that thing up in the air and put some serious spin on it, and he's going to have to do that. We'll watch in a moment. Meanwhile, let's get back to 15.
Things just got extra interesting. Mickelson, it will be a big-time struggle for par. Like Weir. Killer bogey at 13, the par 5 for Weir.
Just a little bit uphill, may break a little right to left at the end towards the ocean. Come on now.
He was saying yesterday after the round that the strength this week has been his putting, and it says that they're not dropping. He says it's amazing. Everything is right around the hole.
He's a very good player indeed. Complete player. Works very hard. Picks up that unusual pre-shot routine after watching Nick Price's swing. Suddenly dawned on him. He thought he was quite a good player until he was practicing alongside Nick Price and said, I need to change my game and move on to another level. Not going to get it done with what he had.
Winner of the World Golf Championship at Valderrama. Don't you believe he has a great chance to be the best Canadian player we've seen? George Knudsen had 8 wins, the late George Knudsen.
He's got long. George Knudsen was a fantastic player.
And a swing that everyone loved to emulate.
Tremendous swing. Very similar to that of Ben Hogan.
And let's go back over to you, Gary. 16.
I used to go down to the National Club and hit a lot of balls with Mr. Knudsen. Okay, Phil likes these shots that are very hard. He likes to show off, and he's got a fairly hard one here. I look for this to be a good one. It sounded real fluffy. Yeah, he didn't get it. He didn't get it. He was trying to spin that ball, land it on the green. He always likes to land the ball on the green, and he got it fat. And now he is going to have about 30 feet back up the hill, where I haven't seen one putt made today, for his par. He's got a 2-shot lead over Davis Love III and Frank Licklider, who has got a ball inside of Phil's for a birdie. Let's go to 15.
And Davis for par. Oh, what a 4 it is.
A little luck on that second shot, bouncing around and through the trees, but a great save. The possibility of just being one behind in a couple of minutes.
16.
Well, guys, it's starting to get a little tight out here right now. Phil's hitting some shots, a little wayward shots. Got the driver a little loose there on 14. Ball plugged in the bunker. Made an unbelievable par there. He hit this one way right of the green in that front right bunker. And then not a very good bunker shot, so he's going to have a lot of work to go here. He's over there putting and shaking his head like, what am I doing? Get the ball on the fairway, on the green. Get out of here. We'll birdie the last hole. We'll post 20. They can't catch me. What am I doing? I'm letting them all back in. Okay, let's go. Here we go again. Let's get the ball in the fairway. Let's get this putt first. And he'll be watching this line because Brent Geiberger is going right back up the slot where Phil's ball is. This putt now goes to the right. It's a pretty good line here. Pretty good line, yeah. He's begging for it to go to the right. That was excellent right there by Brent Geiberger. He's at 15 under, 2 on the par for the day, just kind of gliding around, not making much noise, but in line for a very nice payday. Right now tied for 5th. Well, I guess Phil Mickelson is just inside of Frank Licklider here, and he's going to get a pretty good read on this one. Frank can stuff this one in. This could be very interesting. Meanwhile, let's go see Tigers, the trials and tribulations in the Torrey Pines.
Well, let's send it down to Peter Costas. Peter?
Well, duplicate tee shot at 15. This one, worse situation. 121, has to keep it under the tree. Can put it on the green with a good bounce. And that was not a good bounce.
Nope. But all in all, still a remote possibility of chipping it in. Certainly that's what Tiger will be thinking about. With a par 5 finishing hole remaining, the eagle opportunity, potential big swing. But I don't like the look on his face. Let's go to 16.
Okay, Frank's got it all planned out. He's been around this thing 3 or 4 times. Again, tendency is here for these putts to go to the right about the last 3 feet. It's got on the right line. Go to the right now. Go to the right. Oh, man. It went right, but after it looked down in the hole, excellent putt right there. Excellent. Phil's had 2 really good looks at this. He's got about 20, 22 feet. So the one thing you have to worry about now is, okay, I know there's not going to do anything stupid. It's just going to, if I get it outside the hole about 1 ball, get the right speed. And then the next hole, I promise I'll hit the fairway and I'll hit the green. Some sort of insect, and there are 800,000 different varieties of insects on this planet. Just a little nugget for all you entomologists out there. Gotta have the watch on. It's a good look. Nope. Nope. Now we've got a one-shot lead. If he can negotiate this one, and he's not dead yet. He's above the hole about 3 feet. And these 3-footers, and we'll take a look right here at this stroke. Phil was he was all go on this putt. He's seen the line, so now he just got to get it up that hill. And the ball right there, he knows it's outside the line. It's not going to come back. But right now he's going, what did I do that for? Why do I keep doing this to myself? Now he's got one of these putts on Poana. You can't hit hard. You got to hit it easy. And this grass has a tendency to flower as the day goes on. So these guys are late in the day. This grass is going to get a little nubby. So now he's got to hit it easy. He has no choice. So he's going to waffle it down there for his bogey. Nicely struck there, Phil Mickelson. Making it interesting. Let's go to 17.
Tiger doesn't know it, but he's only 2 back. And Peter Costas going the high route with this one.
And the explosion shot.
Just wanted to land that no more than about 6 inches on the green. To 16.
Frank Licklider, he's in a position here. He's close enough where he can just bang it. Just get right to the end, just like he hit that one on par 5, second shot. There we go, right in the middle, no problem. And Frank Licklider now is sniffing the leader. You can see him from here, only 1 shot back. Stay tuned.
This is the Fidelity Investments CBS Sports Desk.
Welcome to the Fidelity Investments CBS Sports Desk. The first U.S. Davis Cup team fielded by new captain Patrick McEnroe has gone down to defeat. Young Swiss ace Roger Federer defeated American Jan-Michael Gamble to oust the U.S. in the opening round for the first time since 1993. Andy Roddick, an American up-and-comer, won his singles match, but by then it was too late. Here at home, Three Rivers Stadium also went up in smoke, but this was a planned implosion to make room for new baseball and football stadiums nearing completion. In Daytona, Tony Stewart passed Dale Earnhardt with 1 lap to go and hung on to win the shootout. I'm Tim Brando. That's all for now from the Fidelity Investments CBS Sports Desk.
This has been the Fidelity Investments CBS Sports Desk.
Mickelson's lead trimmed to 1 as he stands at the 17th, the 425-yard par 4. And Mickelson taking the driver, try to fade it off the bunker. And that's over there where Tiger Woods was moments ago. And now Tiger, this for par, Peter.
Well, it's another one of those, Bobby, that if it loses speed, it could go either way.
Tiger's been very effective on these this weekend. Saves another one.
Bobby, still no bogey since the 14th hole of his second round. That's pretty impressive.
That is impressive, Peter. And credit that to some very well-holed short putts. To 16.
David Faherty.
And that's 3 iron from Davis. Nice high cut just left of the hole.
Oh, good looking shot, but he comes up about 30-40 feet short where most of the putts have been whacked from here. And let's go down to 17 tee earlier.
Where Frank Licklider also with the driver. This just a moment ago. And that's an anti-left kind of swing for Licklider. Still has those memories of what happened at 13, but that's a beautiful shot. Little fade up the right-hand side. Well, Mickelson in trouble again at 17. Davis Love, Frank Licklider one back. And Tiger Woods looking to make an eagle at the final hole. Harrison Fraser, who four-putted here at 17 yesterday, fine round to 68 today. And Chris Riley played junior golf around here. Another fine showing. And the MetLife Snoopy 2 hovering overhead, giving us some of these fine pictures above Torrey Pines South. Climbing up there almost 7,000 feet today. Nice VFR day, getting some beautiful shots. Let's go to 18.
And the 18th, again, so vulnerable this week and this year. Eagle, a very big possibility. There have been 28 for the week.
Well, he has pushed his last two drivers down the right side, and oftentimes the compensation for that is a pull.
And he went left here yesterday, Peter.
You know, you're right, Peter. He hasn't made any bogeys. But unless you consider a par on a par 5 a bogey for him,
well, that's true.
He got the sturdy big swing when he needed it here, guys. And it was 7-iron yesterday over the back. It was 7-iron just behind the same hole location we have today 2 years ago when he made eagle in a battle with Billy Ray Brown.
And he's made a good start towards another eagle. Wonder whether his thoughts are already on Florida, Bay Hill and Players Championship. He'll be playing at Riviera in 2 weeks' time, where he played his first pro event as an amateur when he was 16 years old.
And let's go to 17.
Where Frank Licklider stunned the crowd here yesterday, holding his second shot. Mickelson now, this is his third. From 128 yards, and well played. Pardon me, that was his second shot. His ball did find the fairway.
I was surprised he used a driver off the tee there again, Bobby. An option to stay short of the bunker, a wider fairway, just find the green in 2 and make a par.
Well, you got to play to the strength of your game, and certainly he feels that driving is one of his strengths. And that one-stroke margin so slim. Now Licklider. And from 124 yards. And here it'll feed again. Hole high. Not what Licklider had in mind. Finished second to Payne Stewart, Pebble Beach 2 years ago. His best finish on tour. Looking for that first win. To 16.
And you see Davis Love walking down. He will then put the ball just in front of the coin. Trying to look at the line now and get his mark lined up right where he's trying to go. And by now, I think we all know, David Fairdy, which way this putt goes. You haven't been on this hole, but here's the deal. Just outside left, and the ball will kind of kill to the right at the end. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Actually, I've got a complaint here. That was 4-iron, which would account for the fact he's a little short here. Ooh, that did pretty well. Oh, you lied to him.
That's the only putt. We've all witnessed it, David. We've been sitting here. The people at home have been watching that ball break. That ball didn't move.
You lied.
I lied. Just a fib. It was a little fib. I just go what I was going with. Wow. Davis. Still only one back.
We are back in sunny San Diego, where Phil Mickelson is pursuing his 18th career win and his second in a row here at the Buick Invitational. But Love and Licklider are one back. So many variables at 18, including Tiger Woods after a mammoth tee shot in the fairway. We'll have probably not more than a 6-7 iron into the green here at 18, par 5 and 2.
A pin right on the front, so The water in play more than it was yesterday, but shortening the shot for Tiger.
Frank Licklider, one of the contenders at 17.
To tie the lead. Tough putt to make, though. Right to left swing. Maybe. Yes. So for the moment, Licklider tied with Phil Mickelson at 18 under par. And in case you're wondering why we followed the ball of Phil Mickelson, we thought into the right-hand rough off the tee. Somebody actually threw a ball over there and yelled 4. Mickelson's tee shot was actually in the middle of the fairway all along. So he has played this hole a letter perfect. This 8-footer now for birdie to reclaim the lead. Gives you an idea how treacherous these greens are, especially 17. Mickelson birdied this hole last year in the final round, which sealed his victory. And if he saw any of the replays from yesterday's action, where Harrison Frazier 4-putted from 10 feet.
I wonder if he's got some of those misses from last week on his mind as well, Bobby.
Exactly right. His putting stroke's been dead on today, Peter. So Licklider and Mickelson will play the final hole. What appears for the championship. Davis Love is only one back, and here he is on the tee at 17.
Oh boy, that's down the right and drawing a little. That's just unfeasibly long.
Well, that bunker that Davis Love just carried is some 285 yards of carry, and that ball carried at least by 20 to 18.
18 under 500 yards. Tiger Woods' second shot.
Only 168, and with the wind going with an 8-iron. You can guess where he's aiming this one, boys.
Pin's only 5 yards on the green, hitting into a slope.
Crawls onto the front and backs up onto the fringe.
I think he thought he'd hit it a couple of feet away.
I think he felt he had definitely stiffed it. He held that finish for a good 3 or 4 seconds.
That wasn't a reaction of being thankful to reach the fringe. He thought he had a tap in for an eagle.
When it was right on line, too. Hit maybe 2 yards short of the green. Hops forward, backs up. But still, this is a very makeable position. Caught that maybe just a little heavy, Peter?
I don't know. By his reaction, I think he hit it exactly as he wanted.
A massive divot that came out of there. Let's go back now to Frank Licklider, co-leader.
And the fade works very well here. Hole turns just a fraction left to right. Work it off the left-hand bunker.
He has made up 3 shots in the last 3 holes on Mickelson.
Well, we'll see just how that lie is. Not quite finding the shortest rough. That would have made a difference.
Licklider 31, raised in Middletown, Ohio, but now makes his home down in Ponte Vedra, Florida. Brent Geiberger.
It's just been hanging in there. Still 15 under par for the tournament. 2 birdies, no bogeys. So a steady round, not the dramatic last round that somebody needed today.
Yeah, look at that kick.
Jay Williamson, the only player really made an effort coming out of the pack. 65, but he started 5 back.
Chris Smith had a big surge going early and started to dissipate on that second 9. Now Mickelson shares the lead with Licklider.
I think he likes it. He found the 17th fairway. That's a narrow one.
Ooh, big gallop too.
Oh.
There's the 200-yard plate. Settles somewhere around 170, and the hole is cut short of middle, so he'll come in with a short iron. Tiger with an eagle bid coming up. Second look at an eagle putt that would tie the lead temporarily. I say that because Mickelson and Licklider, who share the lead right now, are back in the fairway on this par 5 in great position. But who knows?
Well, the pin's on 5 steps today, so I make this putt about 15 feet 6 inches, and trust me, he would rather have it below the hole 15 feet than above the hole 3 feet.
Peter, you were saying that he has kind of a fallback move right now when things are breaking down a little bit. You saw it there on that swing.
Yeah, he puts the ball back in his stance and kind of traps it just to protect all that club head speed, and it could be that he caught that just a fraction heavy, but I mean minuscule.
Eagle bid to tie the lead.
Gesturing that it wiggled up the green, took a little bounce off the fringe, never quite on line. I wonder whether he's going to fly Butch Harmon to Florida, or will he'll go to Las Vegas and meet up with Butch.
And 17 first.
After the longest drive of the day, Davis Love from only 104 yards. A sand wedge, here it comes, 6 feet left for birdie to tie the lead.
Go get him.
Trying to extend that Tar Heel magic here at 17. Let's go to 18.
David Moreland, the 4th, with a 4, a birdie. Now the Canadian comes in at 10 under today.
A real struggle, 2 over par for today's round. Qualifying school back in December. Now playing with the #1 player in the world. So certainly an experience. I'm sure he's learned from it.
Mm-hmm.
But always a fight playing with Tiger.
Jadon Blake for birdie. This to move up into a tie for 5th. Joins Jay Williamson, Brent Geiberger. Geiberger still with a hole to play. 4 rounds in the 60s for Jadon, former NCAA champion from Utah State. Now Tiger for birdie. Not a bogey on the card over the weekend. Pair of 67s, but it's not going to be enough.
You have to say that bogey-free run is important to Tiger, making the putts that count. It's a start. But the long game needs some work, needs refining.
From our angle, Peter, we could tell it was never going to be on line.
Just as it came onto the green, bumped to the right.
So 3 rounds of 67 actually added in Friday to the mix, and it's not very often you talk about a guy with 7 straight official tournaments without a win like there's a serious ailment, but the streak is extended. Now here's Geiberger at 18.
202 yards. Got a feeling it was a 3-wood off the tee. Always a little safer to the right, a little less water to carry. Looking for just the 3rd birdie of the day. Bit of a struggle, no. Well, looks as if maybe that nerve problem in his shoulder is giving him a bit of trouble, trying to loosen it up.
2 big swings coming up. Licklider is first, then Mickelson will follow. They share the lead at 18. Love has a chance to join them the hole behind. 2 for 2 with birdies this week at the South Course 18th.
Took a swing as if he had a good lie, as if he knew what was going to happen. 6 on. 184, safely in the middle of the green. Coming out of the rough, he really couldn't gamble too much. And we'll see that testing downhill putt from the heart of the green.
You can see how limp the flag is here. Just a few cool Pacific breezes, but almost negligible now as Mickelson comes to a hole he's played since he first learned to play this game, having grown up so close by.
Played as a high school student, played in junior world tournaments. Very comfortable here. There was certainly a gallery supporting him last year, hometown gallery supporting him in the fight against Tiger Woods and Davis Love last year, and Shigeki Maruyama. Six on for Phil.
Holds the finish. Towering approach. Pin high.
Very good. That was a good sign, that balanced finish. Good solid shot.
He was elected and presented into the San Diego Sports Hall of Fame on Wednesday. And our good friend and colleague Dick Enberg was there to present him to the Hall of Fame. Let's go to 17.
And Davis Love to tie for the lead. Get there, yes. It was last year in the spring after Greensboro that Davis Love was obsessed, he said, with winning. From that he learned you've got to play to win, but not get obsessed by it. And look at this roll. Nothing but net. And let's go down to Peter Costas.
Thanks, I'm here at Tiger. And Tiger, let's just say after the weather in Phoenix, getting your knee whacked at Pebble, and the frustrations of trying to compete this week, you're probably looking forward to next week.
Yeah, I am. I'm really looking forward to just taking some time off and just kind of relaxing. But, you know, I felt like I played all right today. I didn't hit the ball that great, but I got it around, I scored, and that's the name of the game.
Plans for L.A.? You're gonna take a few days off and then work some more in your game, or you're just going to take some more time off and get rid of the tension?
It all depends. You know, if my practice sessions go well, I'll play. If they don't, then I'll bag it.
Good luck to you.
You got it. Thanks.
Back up to 18.
All right, thank you, Peter. Riviera, 2 weeks out, will be there. And Tiger really raised right between that tournament site and this one right here. Some 1 hour's drive north of here, Cypress, California, his hometown. But certainly no denying this is Phil Mickelson's home turf. Still go back to when he won his first victory as a professional. He'd won a tour event as an amateur at Tucson while still a college player at Arizona State. But he had said that day when he was victorious in '93, this is really a special feeling. When I was a youngster, I would dream about playing here at Torrey Pines. And now, one of those things I'm sure you dream about. You put yourself mentally in all kinds of scenarios. Peter Osterhaus, as a player, that you'd have to come to the 18th and make eagle to win. He's got a good look at one, too.
Well, he certainly got the talent to back up the desire and the feeling for playing at home. Very nice second shot. Of course, had to hit the good drive. Back on the tee. Davis ready to go.
And this is one thing that he has done so well this last couple of weeks. That one needs to cut a little bit. It's trying hard to get back now.
Oh, and the first kick doesn't carry it back to the fairway, but it's sitting up pretty strong.
Just enough slope right to left to make sure that ball found the rough. All depends on the lie.
Eagled this hole on Thursday, played over on the north course on Friday. 1 round demanded out of the field on the north course here, and then the weekend all at the south. Eagle birdie performance at the 18th. Here's Brent Geiberger. And an eagle putt. Put him into a tie with Tiger Woods if he hold it.
Let's look at the break. What's that, about a 6-foot break? Come on, down the hill.
He likes it. He loves it.
Great effort.
The San Diego Tour stop began in 1952. Won by Ted Kroll. The first time it was ever contested at Torrey Pines was 1968. 32 years ago today, on February the 11th, 1968. His father, Al, came in second. Tom Weiskopf eagled this hole to win by 1.
That was a great putt.
And that runner-up finish for his father just a few months later. Brent was born without a bogey on his card today, but not enough birdies to stay with these guys like Frank Licklider, who's made up a lot of ground here in the last 3 holes.
He's also bogey-free today. 3 birdies from the 13th. And he would have learned something from Geiberger's putt. Just how fast is it around the cup the last few feet.
Licklider, member of that dubious group of really good players out here who have not had their first breakthrough win. He was second, best finish ever, second at Pebble Beach in 1999, the rain-shortened event that was won by Payne Stewart.
Important time to stay with the routine, whatever it is, the same number of waggles, same number of looks to the hole, no matter what the pressure situation is.
Well, he went high enough here, no? It is a dubious distinction, though, being in that group of guys that try to get that first win, and he is close.
Well, it takes some time. Obviously, he lost out on the opportunity to win over another 18 holes at Pebble Beach with that, as you said, 54-hole event. But you can play very, very well. Davis Love won almost $5 million in 2 years without winning. Played extremely well, so you can play very well indeed. Davis said he was disappointed but not frustrated with that play. He knew he was playing well, and this is what Frank Licklider, if he doesn't win today, has to tell himself that he plays well enough to be in contention. Just stick with it.
Licklider's still in it, but this guy could end his hopes right now. Mickelson for eagle.
He also eagled this hole in the first round. He was playing with Davis Love for the first 2 rounds. They both eagled the hole round 1.
In 1985, he worked this tournament as a standard bearer, carrying the scores down the fairways in Steve Pate's group. Now for the top score in the tournament. Gosh, that looked good. In and 4. Keeps Licklider in the game for sure. Love can win it with an eagle.
From a different angle, looks pretty good.
You can see how it was all speed. I mean, he had that one started way outside the high side. Just a little more speed.
It's been a long week for Phil. Battling the food poisoning.
Licklider to join him at 19 under. And they can both stand back and watch Davis Love. Two are tied. Birdie, birdie. Mickelson and Licklider. That's an impressive 66.
4 under for the last 6 holes for Licklider, so even if he doesn't win, he knows he's played well in a situation where there was an opportunity to win.
And he matched Mickelson today. Let's go down to Peter Costas.
Thanks, Jim. I'm here with Roger Adams, General Manager of the Buick Motor Car Division, and it doesn't get much more exciting than this. We got 2 in the playoff. Davis has a chance to win with an eagle and get in the playoff with a birdie. So you got to be really pleased with this outcome.
I think so. I think CBS is our good luck charm. Seems like every year we come here, we have an exciting finish, and that's what we at Buick like to give our fans. What a great tournament.
Yeah, we're taking credit for the weather, too. Thanks, Roger. Let's go back up to 18.
We really have had now 3 thrilling years here in a row at Torrey Pines. And Davis Love will attack the pin in a moment.
Relaxing the scorer's truck.
Mike Weir.
Well, Mike Weir with 195 yards. Not a particularly great lie on a 5-iron.
Perfect shot.
That one's low and right.
Pretty aggressive play, David.
Really not bad from there. Not bad at all.
He was unlucky yesterday with a 7-iron shot to the back right pin. It skipped on through the green. Little luck this time.
Now here's the key one coming up. What's the number, David?
Well, number's 167, and again, this is not a good lie. It's not the lie that you'd want to try to hit it close to the flag from. He has an 8-iron.
Same club as Tiger.
It's a good contact, and it's right at it.
Oh, right behind the hole.
Tremendous shot. Controlling the distance coming out of the rough. Slippery putt, though, coming up.
He did have a look of concern for a moment there.
Oh, yes.
You never know when it's traveling over the water until it settles down. But he thought, I guess, maybe with that look, it was going to be a little closer.
Well, with the lack of spin on the ball, he probably didn't know exactly how far he'd hit it. It jumped off the face. He thought maybe it'd come down the right distance.
That putt right there to win back-to-back weeks on the PGA Tour. That has happened one time in his career. He accomplished that in '92. The 2 weeks after the '92 Masters, he won Hilton Head, then won Greensboro.
Talked about all the length he has. I remember when he came out on tour, he was the longest hitter on tour when he came out. Just launched the ball. I remember him hitting balls at Atlanta Athletic Club and just lobbing them over the fence at the end of the range.
So the '96 winner of the Buick Invitational would like to join the year 2000 champion Phil Mickelson and Frank Licklider if that putt doesn't drop. The first one. At first he'd like to dash their hopes with an eagle. We're going to walk right below our tower and sneak a peek here. I wouldn't exactly call that an easy putt that Love has. Again, we've seen these putts in the last couple of groups from behind the hole and how much break they have.
Well, he has to be conscious of the fact that he could run it 4 and 5 feet by very easily. Let me correct myself on when I saw him hitting these long drives at Atlanta Country Club, the home of the Atlanta Classic, that's now the Bell South Classic. Just launched the ball, and he did well to bring his game under control. His iron play is much more control than it used to be. And we've seen some great putting the last 2 weeks. Sometimes the putting not as good as the long game.
You know, last week really the roles were reversed. Davis was standing by the final green watching Mickelson try to come after him with a tying birdie. But again, we've got the eagle in the equation here today. Hello. Little Amanda picked up the phone call.
Phil Mickelson with 4 wins last year. A couple of those he outlasted Tiger. Of course, one of them here in La Jolla. But Davis Love will be delighted. His record when Tiger was in contention was not been good over the last couple of years. So he'll be very pleased with his performance at Pebble Beach and here.
It's a bit of a wait first for Davis. Kraft and Weir are away. Kraft eagled this hole yesterday.
All pars and a birdie at the par 5 13th coming home today. One now.
Both of these putts, that one and the one coming, certainly are side angle to the Love Eagle try, but they will give him a pretty good feel for this green, won't they, Usti?
Certainly the speed around the cup. And I know earlier in the week, after his good first round of 65, just one behind Brent Geiberger, Davis talking about experience here at Torrey Pines, counting for a lot, understanding how the greens break. Some of them have very subtle rolls that a rookie would have trouble figuring out.
Like Weir will make an eagle run here. Tied for 6th at the moment.
Chance to tie Tiger.
Frank Licklider hidden a bit right underneath their tower. Yeah, that's right. You can look up here, Frank. I'm sure you can hear the whispers. Okay. This to join Woods' 4th place tie. Not enough speed.
Certainly started it high enough, maybe even higher than the Geiberger line, but not enough speed. And he may go ahead. I think he said something to Davis. Go ahead, he's entitled to finish out rather than get caught up in the hullabaloo when Davis either holes out to win or 2 putts for a tie and a playoff.
And Davis goes ahead and moves to the other side. Let's look at this downhiller he'll face. A moment he'll face. There's no denying, there's no bettering that rainbow moment at Wingfoot in the 97 PGA Championship. But you take this field, the players around him, the moment, the last green, an eagle drive, he holds it. It's birdie for Weir. Davis holds it. I would have to think it's the 2nd greatest moment of his career.
It's going to be right up there. Of course, he beat some very strong players, Vijay Singh and Phil last week. Tiger was just a few shots back.
Given no back-to-back weeks,
yeah.
And given Mickelson already in, Licklider already in at 19 under after 66s. Mickelson and Licklider. Davis Love can decide it right here. He was not even entered in this tournament until Sunday night at Pebble Beach. With the victory, the champions given the option to enter past that 6 o'clock Friday deadline. We saw earlier today, and it was long ago, Brad Faxon come through on this same line. He's obviously one of the premier putters in the game. It was pretty straight. He holed it for eagle. And Faxon's former caddy, John Cubby Burke, helping now Davis Love, carrying the Love bag. We'll help read this one. David Faraday, quick read before we go.
Well, if anything, it might want to go a little left at the end. Not much in it, though, as you say.
Certainly played it to go left.
Here it comes. Nope. We have a playoff. Will it be 2 or 3 ways? Mickelson and Licklider are in it. Davis will join them if he can clean up this one. Mickelson and Love played together the first 3 rounds And this will be the 4th day in a row they tee it up together if Davis makes it. The glider marched around this course today step for step with Phil. Matched him with 66. Running right into his shadow. 3-way game. 67 for Love. They will retreat to the 18th tee. The hometown kid, the winless tour player who's been close before, never this close, and Davis Love, who seeks a 2nd straight win. Mickelson and Love were in a 3-way playoff last year at the GTE Byron Nelson, and the 3rd man in, Parnevik, beat him. Will it be Licklider's turn to upset 2 of the giants in the game? Mickelson heading back to the 18th. Frank Licklider and Davis Love, a 3-way playoff on CBS. So before they get this sudden death playoff underway, Davis has to go in, add him up, the 67 strokes, sign for it. And Mickelson begins the walk by stalking that 18th green. And first, though, a little pep talk. Don't wipe it away. Come on. Come on, it's Valentine's week, Phil.
He's already concentrating on his drive from the 18th.
Oh, my. Meanwhile, his friend up there hovering over, still gliding around. Go, Phil. Last playoff here was back in '98. Scott Simpson was the victor. This, by the way, is the first playoff of the 2001 PGA Tour season. Earlier today, the 11th. What a moment this was. Mickelson for birdie.
With Davis Love standing on the tee, this is an excellent birdie, the long par 3 11.
He would have a 3-shot lead on this closing 9. But after him came the likes of Frank Licklider. He had birdied 13, 15, and then another one at 17, and a 2-putt birdie at the last. And Davis Love, not the demonstrative type normally, unwavering focus, but this was to tie with the 2 ahead. Well, 2 years ago, Peter Osterhaus, we saw Tiger Woods make eagle at the last in his battle against Billy Ray Brown. Last year, Tiger came here having won 6 in a row. Phil Mickelson beat him in a final round showdown. We've had some great events here. Well, it's a great finishing hole, whether you call it a par 5 or a par 4. It's a testing hole. You have to find the fairway, challenge the water on the second shot, and we knew we were going to have a battle. A 3-man playoff was maybe more than we expected, but 39 players within 6 shots of the lead starting the day. Somebody was going to come out of the pack and shoot some low rounds, challenge Phil Mickelson and Davis. Just tremendous. And coming up, of course, what's going to be so critical is to find the fairway at 18, and the way Davis has been driving the ball really consistently longer than Mickelson the first 3 days when they played together. What's the psyche here on the first tee of this playoff? Well, I think the players all know if they hit it straight, they can find the green with their second shot. They do have to find the fairway. We've seen players have pretty good luck coming out of the rough and hitting the green out of the rough. We haven't seen a bad lie yet, but it's a super hole to finish the round, and also especially for a playoff. And again, with that up front pin, front left over the water, it does make it important if you want to come in there high and land it soft to be in that fairway off the tee. Well, as we've seen, the green is soft enough that even from the rough, Davis Love was able to stop his second shot very quickly. The green does slope back towards Devlin's Billabong. Which Devlin, the Australian, had a little trouble with that hazard and had it named after him. You know, you contended here several times. In 1985, you led through 36 holes, but I think back to years growing up watching this tournament in the 60s and 70s, there was a real risk-reward factor here. I mean, guys were hitting 3-wood into this. Oh, thing. Absolutely. You felt you had to hit a good drive, and then did you go for the green, or did you shoot out to the right, maybe catch the bunkers to the right? Check your golf ball. Make sure
Mark Russell, tournament director of the PGA Rules group here this week.
Finish first, so you draw, and Frank, you go ahead.
Frank Licklider's first ever tour playoff. So they're drawing for the order here off the tee, and Mickelson will be first. 3-1 career playoff record on tour. His only loss was in the Nelson, the one we mentioned earlier last May that involved Davis Love, eventually won by Jesper Parnevik.
And Tiger Woods was close in that. That was a real shootout as well, wasn't it? Devon Nelson. And you wonder just how strong Phil is. Looked very weak towards the end of yesterday's round. Looks a good deal stronger today.
For sure, he's got some adrenaline flowing right now to help him through this this food poisoning.
Anxious, and for good reason. Oh, skips right over the bunker.
And that has to be a good break.
That's not too bad a lie either.
A little further back than we've seen most players. Just wanted confirmation. Did it find the sand? Is it over the bunker?
It's over the bunker.
Well, Davis Love will be aware of exactly where that was. A very similar line to his last tee shot here just a few moments ago. So he wants to keep it a little to the right of that one.
Davis with that 1-6 career playoff record. His victory was at the 95 New Orleans tournament over Mike Heinen that got him into the 95 Masters, where he almost won the next week. Ben Crenshaw prevailing. Super story, emotional win. Ben gave us.
Of course, Tiger's first win on tour was a win over Davis Love in a playoff in
Las
Vegas.
Vegas.
Yes. I mean, a regroup. He's looked pretty focused all day, in control of his emotions.
And that one is just hammered down the middle.
The one thing, he lost a couple left on the back nine, but that one he was able to steady himself, regroup after the distraction, and that is perfect.
Right in the middle. Great shot. I don't think there was ever a doubt in his mind that that was going to rifle down the middle. Deliberate practice swing.
And Frank Licklider.
Wasting no time.
Always a quick draw.
That one sliding to the right.
Well, it gets past the tree, David, and he's got a really ugly lie in the right rough.
All right, gentlemen, advantage Love off the tee. We'll continue with this playoff from the Buick Invitational after this word from your local station. Impressive lineup we have right here. Love, Mickelson, Licklider. Three-way playoff to decide things at Torrey Pines. Tiger Woods finishes fourth alone. Geiberger, Weir, Blake. Oh, it's 16 Kraft and Jay Williamson, who came on with 65. Top 10 for Cameron Beckman and Harrison Fraser. Chris Smith.
Another good finisher, Frank Nobilo, out of the qualifying school. Of May. A super third round, not so good today. Even par 72.
Corey Pavin at 10 under. David Moreland the fourth. Rich Beam with 67 out here today. Fred Couples with 68 with John Daly and Blaine McAllister. All at 7 under. Toru Taniguchi finished third at the World Match Play event in Australia. Brad Faxon battled the flu this weekend. He was off to a good start here, and what a superb start to the season it has been for Brad Faxon. So many people enjoying his success and come back. All right, you would have thought that maybe Licklider would be away, but it's going to be Mickelson instead.
Yeah, he's got 198 yards, and Frank Licklider's got 194. And both players got great breaks. Phil missing the bunker, and Frank, actually, his ball bounced through a fork in the tree. Big thing for Mickelson now, if the grass should catch the club head, he'll be pulling it away from the water. Very solid contact out of that lie.
He's going to have a monster eagle putt.
Oh, boy, is it.
That will really test him.
It's back there where yesterday's hidden pin was, in that little peninsula, if you will, of the portion of the green back right.
Now, Licklider didn't draw that bad a lie. It's certainly not good by any means. 194, going with a 6-iron. Danger is if the grass catches the blade and turns the blade over, look out water.
Good enough to go right at it, or just play it safe right side?
I would be playing it safe to the right side.
Oh, that's a good shot. But you have to think, although Love's tee shot didn't get a whole lot of roll or bounce, he's got a chance here to come in with something high and soft right at it.
This one just 5 yards longer than his last second shot. And 172 yards. He's got 7-iron at the moment and a perfect lie.
And what wind there is looks as if it's across now, David.
It's from the left and helping a little bit. If anything, this might be a little too much club. Oh, it's a good-looking shot.
Oh, is it? And trickles back to within some 12 feet. He'll benefit also from having been behind the hole. Not exactly that same line, but something similar in regulation.
He's learning more all the time. They're putting on quite a display. We saw a little bit of a struggle, a few fairways missed on the Inwood 9. And players having trouble at the 16th hole, but birdies at 17 and 18.
Licklider, we heard, sending messages back home to the family. Back in Ohio.
Mickelson and Licklider made those shots from the rough look very easy from just about 200 yards out of the rough, with the water very much in play with the front left pin placement. Good execution. Any miscue at all would have been problems.
With a casual walk here from Mickelson, just trying to pace himself. He will have a very tough down and 2 effort from the back. And this green, trying to become the first to ever win this tournament 3 times. Think about Licklider. This is a lofty territory for him, but you know, his reputation out here, he's a tough guy. He's not going to be intimidated by anybody.
He certainly has that reputation, and what a win that would be to beat Davis, number 2 in career earnings, Mickelson number 3. Mickelson number 2 on the money list last year. Both Mickelson and Love with multiple wins.
Last time anyone on back-to-back victories, or actually 3 in a row. As Tiger had that other streak at the top of 2000, spilling over from 99 that jumped to 6 before Mickelson beat him here. And later last year, Tiger won 3 in a row, beginning with the PGA Championship victory at Valhalla, going right through for him to the Canadian. His last win. 31 wins between Mickelson and Love.
The green's 26 yards deep, Jim. Pin's 5 yards from the front, but we got a pretty good angle here. We'll have to do a Pythagorean triple or something to figure out the actual distance, but it's a long, long putt.
I want to explain that entire Pythagorean theorem.
I think David Fairty can.
Don't put me there.
How about that?
You did earlier on, David.
A squared equals B squared plus C squared.
That's exactly right.
In a right angle triangle.
Square of the hypotenuse equals the sum of the square of the other two sides.
There you go.
Which I can assure you he has no recollection of at this point in time.
It's a long putt.
He's got a long putt that's going to drift a little bit toward the water, toward the left at the hole.
This is some, I would say, close to what, 70 feet down there, gentlemen?
Well, the green's 26 yards deep, and the pin's on 5, so it's about 75 feet.
All the extra angles and stuff, you can even extend that. This looks good.
I think he liked it. He didn't feel it was going to run that extra 3 or 4 feet. Four wins last year. Without Tiger Woods, that would have been a remarkable season. Was a remarkable season, but lots of distractions with Tiger's play.
Yeah, he really did think he'd cozied up there close.
Yeah.
Anybody who's driver on every hole coming in on the back 9 is not going to lay up on that putt. He definitely has a touch of riverboat gambler in him.
So does this guy, Peter.
Absolutely.
Yes, he crashed that putt in on 17. That would have gone 4 or 5 feet by had it missed the cup in regulation play.
Those who follow the tour have heard Frank Licklider say a time or two how much dear friend of his, Mike Morris, meant to his career. He hasn't been on this stage that many times, so perhaps the public doesn't know it, but back in Middletown, Ohio, between the ages of 15 and 22, he hung out with really an older set of guys playing golf, 10 years older. Morris he considered to be the big brother, never had. The night that he finished second at Pebble Beach, Morris was shot and killed by burglars at the Golf Shack Pro Shop in Tucker, Georgia. So Licklider's biggest moment as a golfer was certainly lost and spoiled with horrible news later that night. This for Eagle.
Good effort. So difficult. Speed and line has to be exactly right. Less problems with his return than Phil Mickelson.
For the second time, Davis Love have a putt to end this tournament. Bobby Clamp had alluded to it earlier. What a big Carolina fan he is of basketball, and happened to be in his company last week. Carolina was playing the arch rival Duke in college basketball, and Brendan Haywood got to the line and had a game-winning situation from about the same distance from the free throw line. Davis has the powder blue on, Carolina blue on underneath that sweater. He was able to lay out every statistic about a winning situation. Haywood practicing free throws on Christmas Day, relishing the chance to win it again at the last moment, and now in fact he has that very chance himself. We'll call it, what, just outside 12 feet, maybe 15.
Well, he played a little too much break the first time around. He'll be just outside the right here.
Well, he really put that one way past, too.
Never really on line. Now, Mickelson's gone quite a long way by, shaking his head. Of course, it was the second shot, the tee shot to blame, really. Coming out of the rough, he had to go long.
Frank Licklider's inside of them both.
He's looking good.
I'll know how these putts are this week, boys, too. You can't take any of these for granted.
How good is that?
Stroke has looked very good today. None of the wobbly misses from last week. Beautiful stroke.
Phil's mother and father back there with Amy, watching, applauding the moment.
Sometimes it's tougher behind the ropes. You can't do anything.
Or even in the tower. It's amazing how much of that tension you feel just knowing how much is on the line.
This is a good, what's this, 7 or 8 feet. Lovely swing. Look how firm that wrist action is. Lovely arm swing.
What a 2-putt birdie that was. It's Phil's father. And now Davis Love. We're going another playoff hole. And Licklider will try to make it again a threesome. The next playoff hole will be 16.
It has played so tough. Toughest hole on the course today, number 16. Go from the easiest hole, a short par 5, to a very good par 3. You know something's going to happen at the 16th. Is it with 2 players or 3? They don't care. They're on the way.
He made so many clutch putts coming down the stretch. He's felt this kind of pressure already today. Handles it with great ease. All with 2-putt birdies. And they will now head back to the par 3 16th to try to settle things here north of San Diego. Love, Mickelson, and Licklider. The battle continues. Well, the 16th hole, we're not going to see 3 birdies here, I don't believe.
We certainly won't. A very good par 3. It's difficult, played out towards the sun, out towards the ocean. Just makes judgment that much more difficult. Just needs good execution. High faded long iron.
Gary McCord's tower now shadowing the green. Mr. McCord will be calling the action there. And Gary, what do you expect we'll see here at 16?
Jim, I'm casting a giant shadow from behind this green.
Yes, you usually do.
This is just a growing pull today, this hole. There I am, right there.
Yep.
And, you know, it's ranked the hardest hole in the golf course today. It's a long iron, and nobody's got it back there yet. We've only had 5 birdies out of the entire field. This looks like, to me, it could be a merry-go-round. Everybody's going to birdie 18. They're all going to par 16. 17's the only hole in there you might be able to sneak a birdie or 2. But this thing could go on for a while.
Maybe an eagle at 18 next time around.
It might take that. And, you know, the other question is, guys, the question I have, we've got that beautiful Buick Regal there. Now, if someone made a hole-in-one, does it count?
Read the fine print somewhere.
I'm going to have to read that because this, you know, obviously it's in a playoff and it's not the regular 72 holes, but I would want to know that if I got a nice-looking iron coming right down the flagstick.
It goes to anybody in the tournament, and the tournament's still going on.
I think during regulation play, because I was bored one afternoon, I think I actually read the fine print of that thing.
Well, then it goes to the announcer in playoffs.
I like that. And we're just, the crowds are migrating towards this way. There was a big round of applause when we conveyed what was going on 18 when they were coming here. So we got some people who've been here for a while with some good seats. And we're just very lucky this weather has held out, because it's been raining in LA for a while. But it's calm here and absolutely gorgeous. No breeze coming off the ocean, no nothing. And the guys are starting to arrive, met by a smattering of applause. Now, Phil can hook this ball to get it back in here, but he's the only guy that's bogeyed this hole today of the other two players. He overhooked it and hit it in the bunker. And actually, if you look back at it, this hole probably cost him the golf tournament. How's he doing so far? Round 1 bogey.
Put the camera away over there. Put it away.
Round 4 bogey.
Come on, Bones.
Hollering to Bones. Get over here, Bones. Jim Mackay is caddy. Everybody's just looking, hit it on the green here, and maybe get lucky with a long putt. Rope-a-dope. Hang around and just let the other guys get tired.
Do. As long as you continue to feel this, you got now.
See if we can hear any conversation between Jim and Phil. Aha.
Gary, he's got a 4-iron. The wind's coming back into him when there is from about 10 o'clock. So if he turns it over, it should fit his ball flight.
And there's Snoopy too, hanging around, puttering about. Like you said, you can just kind of rip a hard 4-iron and hook it right back into this pin placement and see if we can get a 2 and get out of here with a win. This hole has not been nice to him. Pretty good shot here. Might be a little short. That's a big hurdle for Phil. He's finally got it where he can try to get a par here on this hole. You can see Davis kind of looking over there trying to catch a glimpse of that iron. He
caught a glimpse all right.
Just go sniff out the bag, don't you, David?
Oh, just, take a walk over there and just have a casual little sidling.
They've played it before, so that they've got the idea. Now I'm going to guess. Let me guess here. Don't tell me, David. I'm going to guess he's going to hit he's going to hit a nice 3-iron. That's what I say. Nice 3-iron.
That's what he hit the last time up. In fact, that's right.
Remember on Saturday's round, he took that 3-iron and flew it over the green into the gallery.
Oh, in fact, he hit 4-iron the last time up. Beg your pardon.
Sounded crisp. It's going to the right of the flag and way up in the air. Could kick.
Hanging a little.
Yeah, it is. That's where Phil Mickelson was when he made his bogey. Oh, and it looks like it's buried from the blimp. And that is not a fun shot because that is straight down the hill all the way to the flagstick.
David, the sun is really a factor as well, isn't it?
Yes, it really is. It's kind of like just a few weeks ago, 16 there at, in fact, 17 last week.
Well, then I'm going to take the guy with the sunglasses.
Straight back at the Pacific, exactly. The guy with the sunglasses got a chance.
Maybe he's using a 3-iron to get it done with.
Also coming right into the middle of the green, and that's going to be back there. That's pin high. Nice shot by Frank Licklider. So we're in the second hole of a sudden death playoff. Davis Love, Phil Mickelson, Frank Licklider. Peter Kostis, you're down there. He's going to have to hit this and just kind of loiter it down that hill in that grass, and wow.
Yep, at least it's on the upslope. We can pop it up there and maybe hang it out to the right and use the slope to kill some of the pace, but a very difficult shot.
This grass is really thatchy. That goes all the way down to the green. He's got about 30 feet of that thatchy grass. He's going to have to just clank it around in that and hope it escapes onto the green. Anything, if he throws it on the green, it's going to just take off. It's called it fat. It's kind of trundling down there. Gets on the fringe, but he will have that for a par.
Yeah, if that had carried about another yard, it may well have gone close. There was a little more sand there than he thought. It was very deep in the face.
Phil Mickelson is going to be next to putt. And we have seen this one all day from various lengths, anywhere from 20 to 40 feet, right on this fall line right here. That picture right there is brought to you by Snoopy, too. There's Snoop up there. He's hanging around. He's had a fun day up there. I think he's been up there for about 4 or 5 hours, so I think most of the fleas have blown off.
Here's where local knowledge is going to be pretty important, Gary, because the shadows are camouflaging that last third of this putt.
The only putt that didn't break for the whole day that I was sitting up here was Davis Love's putt. He hit it perfect on the left edge, and the ball just stayed there. This is one of these. It's just kind of a, Phil calls these a hooper. It's over 3-point range. You can make this from way outside. He's about 40 feet away, 35, 40 feet. These aren't against the rules, though. You can make these. Tilted his hat a little differently there to block out the sun, and that's going to hang over there and not come out. They all got excited, but Phil knew it was too far out. I like that look where the hat kind of is skewed to the right so he could block the sun out. Give him a good look at that putt, or the putt without squinting. We talked about how that sun's coming right at him, and me being as sharp as I am, I'm going to take the guy with the sunglasses. There he is right there. Frank Licklider.
You know, Frank's one of those guys that's just not afraid as well, Gary. He'll steal all the cash in your wallet if you're not careful out there on the golf course.
Well, there's no question. He will not back off at all. You know, you can't have that little goat going with the wraparounds and drive a Hummer and not want to be in the thick of things.
And wear that hat?
That hat is, what was it, teal? Would it be called teal?
I think that's more turquoise.
Okay, teal turquoise. I like that. I haven't seen a putt from this angle. Guys, help me with the read here. I got an idea of it.
Well, one thing's going to be certain. If he gets us to the hole, it's going to be quick going by the hole.
I'm just going to guess it's... I'm going to play it one frisbee outside the left edge. Hit it firm, a whole frisbee. That's about a frisbee. Didn't hit it. Got a little weak in the knees about halfway there, and it just kind of sputtered and clanked 2 feet short, but he's straight up the hill. This is one of those things that's just going to be an attrition playoff. We're just going to hang around, make some pars, just match the other guy, and go ring around the rosy for a while. Because these two guys he's playing with are pretty good, but one of them could get eliminated right here. He has got, guys, he's got 18 feet, and he's got that fringe to go through.
One thing's for certain, his putt got a lot straighter when Phil made his 3.
Trying to get the break from right there. Put your eyes over just like you're hitting a putt. Say, okay, that one's just inside right. So now the first half of the putt, how am I going to get it to that point? I'll have to play that about 2 inches outside. Okay, so that's about a 3-inch break. If all else fails, hit it hard and straight, right, guys?
That would be correct. It's got to go a little left, though, hasn't it?
Yeah, got to. I don't think you can hit this one hard enough to keep it straight. For a par. Nope, you can see it just come out of that that fringe and just tear to the left. You can pick that one up. Watch how this one digs into the fringe. Right there, you could see it. Just dug into the fringe, and the spin just went left, and he knew it immediately. You can tell as soon as you hit those. To continue the playoff. Frank Licklider, a solid par, and remember, he's got sunglasses on. Congratulations to Davis Love and for a good tournament. He wishes them good luck. He will be off and gone in a cart and out of here as these two will now go to 17, and I think something's going to happen here at 17. That's my hole. So Bobby Clampett, that's your hole. You got it.
It's a 425-yard par 4, playing again downwind with a southwesterly blowing, Gary. And already this playoff is the longest in Buick Invitational history since Woody Blackburn defeated Ron Streck in the 4th playoff hole way back in 1985. And it's truly a David and Goliath story, with Frank Licklider trying to win his first tour event, and Phil Mickelson, the all-time leading money winner in Buick Invitational history, 2-time champion.
White, please.
But there's some good things that have happened here for Frank Licklider, and one very good thing yesterday. And then the tying birdie putt here in regulation play earlier this afternoon.
Bobby, I'll tell you what, you got to give Phil credit. He's going for driver right in the playoff as well as regulation.
Now that bunker we're looking at, 285 to carry.
This is headed left toward the hazard, or toward the ravine. I guess it's not a hazard. That could be huge trouble.
It looks comfortably into the hazard, Peter. He's going to be lucky to find it, let alone have a swing at it.
And he knew it the moment he struck it. Peter Costa, a little bit of hang back there, if I'm not mistaken, by Mickelson.
Live by the sword, you die by the sword, Bobby.
Yeah.
It's no like his second shot at 18. Excuse me, 18 last week into the ocean.
Almost the same shot. Now Licklider. No change in the strategy.
No hang back there, and is heading right for the same place.
Oh no. Monkey see, monkey do. Wow.
Hold on.
Now it's not a hazard. I would think they'd have to hit a provisional ball here, David.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do,
Bobby. Both of them are going to do just that.
So provisional ball, just to go by the rules, is a ball that, in the event that they cannot find the other ball, then this ball would be in play, and Phil Mickelson and Licklider would both be hitting 3 from the tee. Player has the right to abandon the ball at this point, but I would be.
Well, this one's going to be in the heart of the fairway, but you really have to consider the question, Bobby, why didn't Frank Licklider go back to an iron in that situation?
I think, Peter, the reason why he didn't is because he doesn't know what Mickelson's situation is. That is Licklider's first ball up against some pipe. Now that could be a free drop. That also may be a loose impediment. Now Licklider.
Both second balls will be safe.
Wow. 17 has had quite a history this week. All kinds of strange things, and it continues. 3rd sudden death.
Here at Torrey Pines, North San Diego, in the village of La Jolla. And after Phil Mickelson lost his tee shot left into the canyons, they'll go look for it right now. Frank Licklider, anywhere on the planet to the right would have been just fine. It's a shocking follow-up shot after the Mickelson misfire. Now, we do know that Licklider's ball has been identified.
This one right here is a black, excuse me, red and black, number 2 with no mark.
Licklider, even if he chooses to use a driver, which is aggressive, at least hit it to the right. You know, he can use a long iron, he can use a lofted metalwood, he chooses the driver.
They indicated, Phil, if that was yours, it's a little bit ahead of us. Yeah. People across the fairway indicated another 20, 30 feet.
Okay, I'm not going to start looking for it yet, so hold on.
I'm not sure whether he has the option to choose
Frank,
not
what
to
are you
look
hitting?
That's my ball.
Okay, so nobody's got this red, black. Okay, that looks like an older ball. This is Frank's here. Mark.
Peter, I think he's thinking about abandoning the ball.
Label down there. The minute you found your original ball was found, the provisional ball's abandoned. Which means I have to go back to the tee. I have to go back. You take your bags. Take him back. Okay.
There's 2 club links in the line, right?
Well, you can look at it.
We've got a great demonstration of the use of a provisional ball. You play a provisional ball in case your first ball is lost or out of bounds. If you find your first ball, you abandon the provisional and then make decisions about what to do with your first ball. Obviously, Frank Licklider didn't like the idea of having to go back to the tee again.
No, you're going to go back to where you last played? Yeah. Okay. No, you don't have to mark it. You just go back.
He can deem the ball unplayable, take 2 club links in any direction or go straight back. That's not an option because it's straight down into the canyon. He's going to have to go back to the tee.
It's either that or the 2 club length option of an unplayable line.
Black 5 with 4 dots over it.
Looks as if Phil's deciding not to look and say, I want to use my second ball.
That's exactly what he's doing, Peter. If you find your original ball, you must go abandon the provisional, go back to the tee, which Licklider is doing. Phil's not even going to look, doesn't want anybody to look.
So what happens if
trip back to the tee and he's in the fairway lying 3?
What happens if Frank Licklider runs down there 30 feet and says, here's your ball, Phil?
Well, that would be a possibility, except he's in a cart heading toward the tee.
And 60 minutes will be next after the playoff, except on the West Coast.
You kidding me? Yeah, that's it.
Oh, they found it.
They just found Phil's ball. He said, are you kidding me? And that means he too has to go back to the tee.
Did not say that nobody go down there?
Phil knew that his options weren't going to be very good if they found the ball. Now he's going to have to go back to the tee.
He's furious. They were looking for it. He repeated a couple of times. Didn't I tell them not to go look for it?
But he already abandoned the ball at that point before they found it. So I would think the ball is abandoned and not... he can play his provisional. He doesn't have to go back to the tee. Once it's abandoned.
Bobby, he has to go back to the tee now. The provisionals are both abandoned at this point. They had 5 minutes to look for the ball. Someone found it, even though Phil didn't want them to find it. So they're now going to have to go back to the tee and hit their shots again.
Well, that's extraordinary.
For those of you just joining us, we welcome you to the Buick Invitational at magnificent Torrey Pines, north of San Diego. What began as a 3-man playoff with Davis Love, Phil Mickelson, and Frank Licklider has been reduced to just 2. Love eliminated on the second hole of sudden death with a bogey. And now both Licklider and Mickelson head back to the 17th tee. And Bobby Clampett has the call out there at 17.
Well, this is absolutely extraordinary, Jim Nance. I really thought once you declare a ball abandoned, it doesn't matter when you find it, but that's a rule I didn't know.
Bobby, you'd have to say you've got some very qualified PGA Tour officials right on the scene, listening to every word that was said by Phil Mickelson.
They certainly are, Peter. I'm not going to second guess their decisions. They know the rules. And let's go to Peter.
Thanks, Bobby. I'm here with Mark Russell, our rules official. And Mark, unique situation here where Phil didn't really want anybody to look for the ball, but they found it at that point. What happens?
Well, once that ball was found, once a ball was found, he was obligated to identify it as his or not his. In this case, it was his. So the minute the original ball was found, the provisional ball was abandoned. Same with Frank Licklider. So the players are playing 3 from the tee.
So they're getting a lot of practice right now.
They are. You know, a very unusual situation, but they're the same right now. They're playing 3 from the tee.
All right, we'll go back to the tee and check it out. Thanks, Mark.
And Licklider
with the driver again.
So that is Licklider's 3rd.
And he'll like that one. It's a hard, straight drive. It's going to roll out.
Well, we talked about at the top of the show how this hole is unbridled. We've seen everything here this week. From birdies, Licklider's eagle, back-to-back 4 putts, and now this.
No, Mickelson's hit it in exactly the same place.
Spit it out.
It did.
Well, he talked to it. He said spit it out and hit the tree, and he's in the rough. He's okay.
Can you believe what is happening? This third hole of the playoff. Phil Mickelson, Frank Licklider. Back in a moment.
Playoff continues, and Phil Mickelson's request is granted. Spit it out. It was destined for the ravine again, it appeared. Now, here's one that I asked you, Usti, during the break there. Licklider did not have the honor on the tee when this playoff hole began, and he was the first to unload the third shot.
That's true, but there's no penalty.
And guys, what happened was there was a mistake by the rules official on the tee, and he told Licklider to hit first, and as such, there's no penalty. You're right, Peter.
This is like a twilight zone.
In match play, the opponent could have the player replay the shot, but we're talking medal play. And I think what happened, Phil Mickelson didn't want to start the search. You've got 5 minutes from the time your side looks for the ball. So Phil Mickelson or his caddy start the search. 5 minutes is started. Other people were looking for the ball. They found it. Then he's obliged to determine whether it's his ball or not.
One other thing, I mean, this is starting to really become a habit for Mickelson, sliding off the driver at the 72nd hole last week at Pebble Beach, and then his first tee shot here at 17, and that one a tremendous break, hitting the tree, the Torrey Pine, and staying in play.
It's amazing nobody's thought about hitting a long iron off this tee and about an 8-iron second shot and make birdies and pars that way.
That's how Tiger made birdie yesterday. And now Mickelson.
He's got 156 yards left, Bob. He's got a marginal lie, but he should be able to get this on the green. The question is, if it gets on the green, will it stay or run through?
Coming downwind. Any tree trouble at this point?
Well, he's going to have to keep it a little low. He's got a 9-iron looking to hack it out.
Hole cut today all the way in the back left. That'll be in his favor. His fourth shot.
Yeah, the grass caught the blade and turned it over.
Gets a good bounce. Hole high. That remaining for bogey. And now Licklider, David.
128 yards, Bobby, downwind with a pitching wedge.
Should be a good number.
It's on a good line.
And spins back, hole high again. Inside where he made it from earlier in regulation. And let's take a look at that. The 71st hole for Frank Licklider to tie for the lead. Mickelson was inside him. But a golden stroke. Licklider mentions as one of his hobbies hunting. A couple players both enjoy hunting, but not this type of hunting, David.
I'm still shooting for birdies, I suppose.
Of a different sort. Licklider out of Wright State University. And lives in Ponte Vedra, plays out at TPC there. So many top players there.
Now, Bobby, the emotions of this game. And Licklider at 13 back in regulation still managed to make birdie there. And I mean, it was an ugly moment, but it led to birdie at 13, 15, 17, and 18. 4 under the last 6 to get into the playoff.
And that little pull hook really cost him here at 17. Same shot.
I think some of his significant prize money might go towards the PGA Tour after that little gesture on the 13th fairway.
Possible.
Licklider talks about getting caught in the moment. One of the focuses that he does mentally out here. Staying in the moment. Never getting ahead of yourself. Take one shot at a time. I think that was his strategy back there on the tee. He had already his strategy established. Hit the driver off the tee. He's played this hole so well. 3 under in the weekend doing that. But now Mickelson. Both players live 4. Pretty good putt.
I wonder what the odds would have been on a half in double bogeys. Should Frank Licklider miss this putt? That's what we have.
All right, David. And now a putt that Licklider knows so well. It's a little bit below, a little more uphill than the one that he made earlier. Peter Costas, he's had this putter rolling all day.
Well, now's the time to pull it out one more time. Question is, don't get too aggressive with this, trying to win the tournament here and give yourself a difficult comebacker. Stranger things have happened on this hole this week, right, Bob?
Very strange. Licklider for the win. And he's not done. Peter Costas, I think it was a pull right off the bat.
Well, one thing's for certain. He's got one left for his double bogey to have this hole. What are the odds on winning with a double bogey?
Well, on second thought, it looked like the ball actually came off the putter pretty straight, just broke more. And this, we'll call it 4 feet.
How many strange miscues have you seen from this length this weekend, Bobby?
Especially on this green. I've seen 3 putts from 4 feet before.
This is where his putt in regulation would have finished had it missed the cup earlier when he made birdie.
You're right, Peter.
Well, not a whole lot in this one. Back up the hill, maybe just left to center.
And Phil Mickelson is your champion. In an improbable fashion, he's set the record as the only 3-time Buick Invitational champion, Jim Nantz.
He wins with a 6, successfully defending his title at home at Torrey Pines. Phil Mickelson's the champion for the 2nd straight year here. For all of us at CBS Sports, thanks for being with us. Good night, everybody.